Yes, people, welcome, welcome. We are back for the second episode of the Friday Night Blues. And yeah, man, thank you, Kai, for joining me. Well, Jay, hopefully from Talking Chelsea, will be joining us later. So we'll just get straight into it. Kai, first, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. It's been an alright week, apart from the football, but it's been alright.
Yeah,
Not too bad, mate.
yeah, man. Yeah, no, it's definitely it's a weird time at the moment, isn't it? It's a strange time to be a Chelsea fan. There's promise sort of in buried very deep in all of the negativity. Obviously, there's a new manager, potentially new ideas and new style, but it is quite hard to see through all of that based on everything in the results that's going on. Big up Daniel Knight, good to see you, buddy. Always welcome. Right, so I think let's just get straight into it, man. So the first thing I think we should talk about tonight on this episode of the Friday Night Blues is the Arsenal game, right? Is it a missed opportunity? Are we still in the tie, or is it just like I say, man? Is it just over? Did we not do well enough? And what do you think? How do you feel about it?
Um, Look, I mean, we're going into the Emirates game in more of an underdog now than we were going into the one at Stamford Bridge, and we should, touch wood, have the players that we were missing, which were a lot.
Yeah,
In terms of those starters, the players that can really make a difference.
yeah.
However,
However,
it's it's gonna be tough, man.
yeah, man.
It's gonna be tough, and we'll talk about the game in a bit more depth. But there were some positives,
Yeah,
definitely in some sense, but there was a real concerning negative for me, which could be a problem if we're going to continue
yeah.
for the
Okay.
rest of the season.
Yeah, man. Just
What
before
about
we
you?
get just before we get further into it, welcome Devin. Good to see you, man. I'm just going to highlight that comment from Devin there. Rosinha got the squad moving like preschoolers building Lego and whatnot. So yeah, we're going to talk about. I'm going to let Kai go into it in a minute. I'll just give my quick assertion of the game. The thing is, for me, there are two major narratives surrounding the game. The one narrative is the big picture, the long term thing. We lost against Arsenal again. It's been a while. 2020, I think, was the last time we beat Arsenal at the Bridge. So
Yeah.
it's definitely always a bitter pill to swallow. Do you know what I mean? We never like losing against Arsenal. We do not like giving them more opportunities. Their fans to laugh at us and stuff. Do you know what I mean? But the immediate small picture is half of the first team out, brand new manager there for 6 days, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of rotation. I think that if we'd have had Reece James, Cole Palmer, Caicedo, Malagusto, do you know what I mean? I easily think that could have been a very different time, man. It easily could have been a very different tie. So yeah, I do lament the loss, obviously, but at the same time, it's like when we were 3-1 down, I was like, this is insurmountable. But one goal down doesn't seem like an impossible turnaround. I don't think.
No, no. It, as I said, and fair play to Garnacho.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for
The
sure.
definition of what a super sub would be. Come on,
Mhm.
he got 2 goals and saved face in what could have turned out to be a very embarrassing result
Yeah,
had he not got even just one of those goals.
yeah,
But it
absolutely.
does make it a slightly more of an achievable comeback, being only 1 goal down. However, how likely is that going to happen? Well, we've got a few games in between to pick up some momentum and actually
Yeah.
build something. Maybe start to see a change in the way that we play. Players getting fitter, coming back. I mean, it seems to be a flu virus flying through
Yeah,
the
they've
squad at the
literally
moment. Everyone seems to be picking up the
they've
flu.
they've locked off Jamie Gittins and Delap from the. I don't know if that's still the case, but they locked them off from the squad. And I think Rosinia also said a few of the staff have also come down
Yeah.
with it, so it's like rampant at Cobham at the moment. So yeah, definitely, I can only hope that that's less of a problem soon, and it's kind of a quick one. But yeah, definitely, a worry going forward. Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
So you mentioned there's one big thing that you're concerned about. Talk to us about the big thing that you're concerned about that you noticed in the Arsenal game and why it might make us suffer going forward.
The return of Robert the Bozo Sanchez, mate. And look, I said this in my match review. Like, I don't put the blame on him. Obviously, for conceding the goals, yes. because he was at fault for the first two,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, definitely.
But this this playing out from the back, and I get it. Every team plays out of from the back at some point in the game,
Yeah.
but there is this tactic, this approach where we do it under unnecessary pressure,
Hmm.
and we play. I mean, the amount of times I saw him play the ball into Santos with two players around him, and
Yeah.
that first time pass back has got to be spot on, because if it's
Yeah.
not, it either fumbles away and they pick it up, which happened a few times, or it's a poor pass back to him. He is then put under pressure straight away by the striker.
Yeah.
And this is not something we haven't seen before. We had to watch this the entire,
Oh.
almost the entirety of last season
Yeah.
under Maresca, until what, about after the Ipswich game
Yeah.
at the
That's,
end, close to the end of the season.
was it?
That's when he was like,
Was it
we
the
can't do
Ipswich
it.
game where there was like the famous error where he was supposed to kick it short, and Maresca had previously said, "If you kick it short, you're out of the team."
Yeah,
And then he kicks
it's
it long, and it caused a error leading
a
to a goal on that.
massive. And well, look, he's probably been this season one of the players that surprised me the most in terms of his development, in terms of
Yeah.
his improvement in games. Like, I'm not going into games, or haven't been of recent times,
Yeah.
going, "Phew, I hope Sanchez doesn't have a howler today." I've actually
That's
felt
true.
pretty confident within goal too, even to the point saying, "God, don't stick Jorgensen in, please.
Mm.
I want to keep." But if we are going to continue and revert back to this way of playing again, it's gonna be a long day, man. We're gonna see more errors,
Yeah.
more errors by Sanchez that are gonna cost us goals. If we want to play this way, I'm sorry, Sanchez, it's not for him,
Yeah,
and they
man.
need to switch on to his far. It's not like we haven't had a big enough sample size
Yeah, that's
to
100% true.
realize that it doesn't work. And I get it. Rosinia was doing it with Penders, and he was doing it well. Different ball game in the Premier League, so it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to see if Penders can do it. But in terms of playing out from the back under pressure, he seems to be at a better level.
Yeah.
However, Sanchez is not at that level. He has
No.
shown that he can't get to that level.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
for me, to the end of the season, just play to his strength and what has worked and what has caused this massive improvement and uprise from him. Don't make him go back to this way, because I can't.
Yeah.
I can't be watching
I can't take it.
the last 6 months of the season like that. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do
That
think
was
it.
the concern this time for me.
I do think it would be reasonably short-sighted of Rosinia, any manager, to look at. So the thing is, this is Sanchez's third season with us now. Over the
Yeah,
course of the last two seasons, he has been dropped for periods of games because of bad performance. Those two, one under Pochettino, one under Maresca, both of those were because of errors caused because of confidence issues, which probably stem from playing out from the back. It would seem very short. Now I really like Rosinia so far. Do you know what I mean? In what I've seen and what he says and stuff, 100%. But it would seem crazy to me if he's like, yeah, no, Sanchez is terrible at playing out from the back, but I can do it. I've got the special sauce. Do you know what I mean? Based on, like you said, it's not even just last season, man. The season before, last season was definitely the worst in terms of errors leading to goals. It was a league high of 5 errors leading to goals from Robert Sanchez, and that almost categorically stopped the moment that Maresca said, "All right, you can play it long." So yeah, that does seem a bit crazy to me. So we could talk about Sanchez all night. At the end of the day, like, we are not anti-Sanchez. We are
no,
anti-Sanchez playing short at the moment. Do
that's
you know
what I
what I
mean.
mean? That's the thing,
Play
isn't it?
to his play to his strength. They found something that works for him,
Yeah,
that at least produces a reasonable level. His shot stopping has always been pretty decent.
yeah,
The fact that he has not had to force himself to play these short passes under pressure, he has looked better. But if we are going to revert back to that, it's going to be pointless. It's
yeah,
not going to do him any good. Confidence is going to go down. We're going to concede silly goals. It would be a backward step. So I hope that Rosinia would switch on to that pretty fast. There could be a period where he tries Jorgensen, but again,
yeah,
we've seen Jorgensen do it. He can't
yeah.
do it. I mean, he got the Conference League last year, and he couldn't do it there. And
Yeah, that's
that is
true.
against not the caliber that you get in the Premier League. So
Yeah, no.
it's not,
Yeah, I
and
expect
it's
to
not.
see more of Jorgensen than we have. just
Yeah.
because he was like barely getting played at all. And I think the truth of the fact is like Jorgensen really wants to leave at the moment, and if we keep him and don't play him, he's going to get even worse. So the two options are get rid of him now and scramble to. I've seen something. Teddy Sharman Lowe has been brought back from his
Yeah.
loan to potentially, so that might be an indication that Jorgensen is going to get sold and Sharman Lowe is going to get the number 2 spot for the rest of the season. I don't even think that's a terrible idea, because Sharman Lowe will be happier than Jorgensen was to be the number 2 and to only get a few games in the season. Obviously, we've got the Hull in the FA Cup. We've got Paphos coming up. Do you know what I mean? There are going to be some games definitely in and around, although we are fast getting out of that point in the season where we've got games available. So it just does seem a bit crazy, man. Now what we can do is go on about the negatives for a really long time, but I do want to switch up to a couple of positives, because as far as the Arsenal game goes, especially pertaining to conversations that you and me have had, we did a video, do you remember, about the areas of domination and the Maresca tactics and stuff. I do think there are some things that I have already seen from Rossini's Chelsea that, although haven't made an instant impact, will likely lead to better opportunities for attacking players. I think, we talked about it a little bit pre-stream. The defence, okay, well, maybe we'll get onto the negative defence after we've talked about a little bit of the positives. But the attack did generally look better. Obviously, Garnacho has come off and done a really good job. And in general, Esteval looked amazing. João Pedro looked better. Do you know what I mean? João Pedro was playing his role very differently. And it was very like, he didn't keep the ball for very long, I noticed. He was very much like, as soon as he had the ball, he was looking to get it out to someone, and he was winning second balls and stuff. But the main two things I want to talk about are the things that I noticed from the game were brave passing through the middle of the pitch, and ultimately wing play. Wingers are cutting in now. Do you know what I mean? Even Jamie Gittins in the Charlton game was cutting in. So what we were seeing before is when there was a congested midfield, despite us overloading the midfield, we never tried to make those brave passes through the middle for people to run onto. So we were always constantly funneling the ball out to the wings, and it was either going back to the centre-backs to be passed around to be funneled back out to the wings, or it was being crossed into the box to essentially no one. What we're starting to see now, I think, is, like I say, twofold. Brave passes through the middle, which is going to create more chances. Do you remember that area in front of the penalty box?
In the D.
Yeah, we were not even contesting that spot. Do you know what I mean? Nowhere close. We weren't even contesting it. I think we might start contesting that spot a bit more. And also, this style of wing play, I think, benefits the wingers that we've got in the squad a lot more than Maresca's wing style, which was, get it out to the wing. But, I remember what you said, man. You were like, as a centre-back, like, you want them to just get it out to the wing and randomly hit and hope with a cross. Do you know what I mean? So those are two, I think we saw that shot from Esteval and the way he was just had that license and freedom to cut in. Jamie Gittins in the Charlton game. Garnacho obviously scoring from kind of like not super wide, from the left, but getting into scoring positions. And Pedro Neto, and still crosses coming in occasionally as well. It's like not the end of crosses or anything like that, but it just feels like we're mixing it up a little bit more already. And with the players that we've got, to me, that just makes a bit more sense. What do you think?
Yeah, the one thing I would say under Maresca, we were predictable.
Yeah.
You could read us before we had even started the game.
Yeah,
because the style and the way that we played, there was no switch up. There's been a slight switch up. Mm-hmm. The wingers coming inside is a big thing.
Yeah.
Because it also allows the fullbacks to overlap. And when Reece James is on the pitch, probably one of the best ball delivering fullbacks in the league, in the world, whatever you want to call it, it would play to his strengths a bit more. With the play, I mean, Enzo Fernandez through the lines against Arsenal, he was picking up the ball, he was spreading it in ways that I haven't seen for quite a while, which was good, but he was finding the time and he was finding the space, because what was happening is, because the wingers were always coming inside and they weren't just, they would start out wide, they would come in even to receive the ball. Yeah. It was then occupying the middle and it was occupying the defence. So they were now having to think about another player to pick up. Yeah. And it was pulling defenders away from certain spaces, which Enzo Fernandez, Andres Santos, which were picking up. Yeah. For Cole Palmer, this is what he would want. He would want You know, if Esteval's coming in on the right and he's pulling away one of the left-sided midfielders or pulling away that left-sided centre-back, that opens up a slight gap for a Liam Delap or a João Pedro to run into, and Cole Palmer's on the half-turn picking up the ball and playing it through the lines.
Yeah.
These are the kind of things that he's not been able to do
Yeah.
for the majority under Maresca, because everything was spray it out wide, get it to the men. How many times you get the wingers out to the byline, they'd cut back, and Palmer would be on the edge of the box.
Yeah.
We want him in the centre. We want him around the D. If Palmer's picking up the ball on the D, he's finding those intricate passes behind the lines, or he's getting a shot.
Yeah.
And if it's going to continue down this path, and this is something that Rosigne is implementing himself, then we should see from players like Palmer, even from players like Enzo. I mean, Santos's passing is underrated. Now he needs to
I thought
work
he's been
on
really
his
good, man.
accuracy.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there was a few wayward passes, and
Yeah.
you can see the idea. Like there was quite a few times where he was playing the ball through the lines, and it was the player was in space,
Yeah.
but it was a little too far to the right, too far to the left, and it was going past him. If he can work on that, and that will come with more game time, more experience, and things.
It's like that role that Andre Santos has been playing seems tailor-made for Romeo Lavia, doesn't it? Like it's so annoying that we've been missing Romeo Lavia so long. But do you know what? I've thought Andre Santos has done an amazing job since Maresca left.
He's
been trusted. Do you know what I mean? He's been trusted, and all of a sudden, like, yeah, you know, at the end of the day, you are 100% right. Like, he needs to work on the accuracy of the passes. How'd you do that? You do it in games by being trusted, getting game time, and making those mistakes and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I think Andre Santos, and you know, that kind of leads nicely a little bit into the players that we're already seeing being used, right? Andre Santos and Yoro Hato, for me, are two amazing examples of positive changes that we've already seen, because these are good players that we've got on our hands, man. Do you know what I mean? They're good players that we've got on our hands. But Maresca's, reticence to play youth because they're not old enough, or they're not experienced enough, or he doesn't think that, you know, they can play a style of football or whatever. But like, look at Yoro Hato. Yes, it was Charlton, but look, after 4 appearances, something like that, he's made for us. He plays this new role and scores an absolute beauty, but also plays really well throughout the game. Andre Santos has been a permanent fixture thus far in the squad since Callum McFarlane took over, since Enzo Maresca left. And all of a sudden, our squad looks even with all of the players that we were missing, our squad looks a bit deeper again, doesn't it? Like, you know, with the Arsenal game, Yoro Hato had a game in the Charlton game. So it wasn't just like he was brought out from the cold because he absolutely needed, you know, he came on later in that game. Andre Santos has played 4 games kind of in a row now, not full 90 minutes, but all of a sudden, okay, there's no Caicedo and there's no Reece James, but Andre Santos has played the last 3 games. So, do you know what I mean? All of a sudden, it's like the squad has got, you know, more experience, and in those situations where you're missing all of those players, I think that's going to be really important going forward, because we're not going to spend 200 mil this January reinforcing the squad.
Yeah, the Santos one, I think, because he's played under Rosigne in the past and he was captain, and you know, obviously had an amazing season at Strasbourg. There's love there, and you've heard it from Santos even in press conference. There's definitely love between them two. They've built a bond, which is good. For a player, it's good. Whether because obviously I've got to take into account that Caicedo has not been available for quite a few of the games. Would he have still got as many minutes? This is something we'll see in time if he still continues to get these minutes moving forward. The fact that we've used so many of the young, I mean, even to have Mweka come on against Arsenal, which I know the squad is light, and that's probably the reason why he was on there, but he still got minutes in the end. It's not really a player, and this is no, you know, judgment on him. It's not really a player you want to be bringing on. No. The Mweka coming on should have been like a Mark Yu coming on. Well, it would have been. That's what it should have. Yeah, it would have been. So,
do you know what I mean? That was.
But it's good to see that though he was part of the squad and he actually got minutes again in a tough game against currently the best team in England. So. Yeah, the youth. I don't think Rosigne is going to have a problem with being made to use the youth.
No.
Because that's what it is. It's not. You're not going to sit and tell me that he is wanting to use all these young players, because of course any manager is going to want to mix a blend of both. But he's been made to use them at the moment because that's what he's got at his disposal. But what we saw a difference under Maresca is he reluctantly
Yeah.
didn't want to use them, and he would do everything in his power to use other players, even running players into the ground so he didn't have to use them.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
it
yeah,
looks like
exactly.
Rosinier is going to be the opposite. He's going to use the squad to its fullest,
Yeah,
which hopefully the players like the Hattos and things like that. I mean, Hatto's game against Charlton, and again, it's Charlton,
yeah.
I know. And that's no disrespect to Charlton, but
No,
where
no,
we
no.
are in the leagues and
Yeah.
where they are, it is what it is.
31 places in
He
terms.
showed me more in that game than the four or five outings that he got under Maresca.
Easily.
Like even just in his positioning, in his movements. A lot of times when I was looking at Hato play, he looked rigid. He looked like condensed in a type of way. Like he couldn't step out too far to the left because he had to fit this channel. He couldn't go past a certain part of the pitch because he had to fit this type of channel to whether it was to cover to back or to invert. It
Hmm.
looked like he had too much instruction,
Yeah,
where what he needs right now is instruction, but also freedom to develop his game,
yeah,
to learn from mistakes, like not forcing him to only play this way. Let him try a wayward pass and see if it
yeah,
comes off. If it doesn't come off, he'll learn next time if he needs to put more weight on it, if he needs to unhit, or if he shouldn't do it.
yeah,
But he wasn't allowed, or at least from my perspective in the games that he played, he wasn't allowed that kind of freedom. So
yeah, for
it's
sure.
looking like these kind of players will
He
get that
was
freedom.
he was moved into a lot of different roles over the time. And to be fair, he actually played like centre back and full back at the end of the
Yeah.
Arsenal game as well, didn't he? So he's still looking to be used as a versatile player. But I just think like Yoro Hato looks like a good player, man. Just because he's 19, like I think just he got 6 assists for Ajax in the Eredivisie the season before. That isn't a championship level player. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's definitely better than that, and he deserves a shot in the squad. And ultimately, Cucurella needs more of a break than he's been getting. Do you know what I mean? 100%. So Hato should have got double the game time that I think already. Now, what I'm not saying, I don't think Rossini is all of a sudden going to play Yoro Hato every game or Josh Achiampong every game or Andrew Santos every game. But instead of looking for makeshift answers to holes that are being created, whether it be through injury, illness, suspension, whatever, instead of going, I can play Malagusto there, or I can try this person there, or I'll play Pedro Neto up front, or whatever, he's gone, right, Liam Delap's out. The only other striker we have available to us right now is Mark Gue. I'm not going to put Tyreek George there. I'm going to put Mark Gue there. Okay, Reece James and Malagusto aren't available. Josh Achiampong gets that. I'm not going to start with Badiashile, Tosin, and Chalobah, do you know what I mean? And play one of them as a right back from the off. I'm going to give Achiampong that opportunity. I think that is, if I'm honest, what Maresca should have been doing for the majority of the season. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, yeah, I do think so. I mean, we've spoken about it before that certain players weren't getting enough minutes. So big
Yeah.
up Gabriel, welcome, bud. And now it's small sample size, but it looks like they are going to be given, and players, even the likes of Josh, I think will relish that. And people sometimes forget because they talk, Josh should be playing centre back. Josh is actually a right back. He's not centre back.
Yeah.
He's
done
actually a right
great
back.
job.
So,
Yeah,
and
yeah, for
he
sure.
does well in both. He looks comfortable, and we are. And it'll be interesting to see the Brentford game tomorrow because
Really interesting.
I would say we were going to ride the manager wave, the new manager wave, for a little bit because most teams do. Now we've obviously had a loss now,
Yeah.
so is that going to shoot the new manager wave out? We'll see tomorrow. It'll be
I don't think
interesting to
so.
see.
Like I say, man, it's the squad for me. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
I think it's difficult to look. At the end of the day, if we'd have got a 3-2 loss under Rossinia and we'd had our entire first team available to us, I'd have felt more negative. Do you know what I mean? I'd have been
Yeah,
like, he had Cole Palmer, he had Reece James, he
Yeah.
had Malagusto, he had Caicedo, and we still could only get those 2 goals for Garnacho. We conceded silly goals or whatever. Do you know what I mean? If we'd have but to be able to have kept us in the tie just by 1 goal like down with starting with Mark Gue, Josh Achiampong, do you know what I mean? Like with that very, very cobbled together team, I think that's impressive, man. Do you know what I mean? And I think that is a very small amount of credit in the bank. Now, like I say, if we go into tomorrow, Cole Palmer's available and plays, Reece James is available and plays, Gusto, whatever. Do you know what I mean? If we've got like a much more first team strength looking squad out tomorrow and we don't get a result about it, then yeah, I'll be ready to be like, man, this really isn't good enough. Because we have to be beating Brentford. My biggest issue with Maresca was I love the fact that he could beat the big teams, but for me that didn't matter if you're losing to Leeds, Sunderland, if you're drawing against Brentford, 2 points against Bournemouth over 2 games, conceding all
Yeah.
these set pieces the way that we are and stuff like that. Like for me, beating the teams that we have to beat is the first port of call. So it's going to be really interesting to I'm going to go into the fixtures later. Hello, Chelsea boy. Build a mediocre squad, and this is what you get. The thing is, man, like, was the squad mediocre when it was in second, and was the squad mediocre when we beat PSG, and was the squad mediocre when many content creators were predicting a title challenge this season? I don't think so, man. I think the squad's become mediocre over time because of the way it was being managed, and yes, the argument 100% is there. It's not been supplemented by enough quality. But like I say, man, it was a mediocre squad that we put out against Arsenal because half of our first team was missing. Do you know what I mean? So we didn't have any other option. So I think there's conversations to be had in that. So Daniel, I don't want to talk too much about this, but I will draw attention to it this one time. So the Brentford game tomorrow, protest at 1 o'clock. So like I say, for me, aim it at the owners to change the model. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the most realistic take. Ultimately, what I don't want it to do is affect the game. Do you know what I mean? I hope that any fans that go to the protest still go in and cheer the team on tomorrow, because I think that's kind of why we're all here, isn't it? Kai, how do you feel about our chances against Brentford tomorrow?
If we can nullify their striker, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Igor,
is it?
Yeah, I mean he's smashing it, but they've surprised me this season, Brentford, because I didn't, with what they've lost, not just players but managers.
Yeah.
I thought they wouldn't struggle, but
100%.
they definitely haven't, and they're sitting probably in a place they're getting nosebleed. They didn't think they'd get up that high, but they deservedly to be there. However, there is no way that I can sit here and say that we shouldn't beat a side like Brentford. We should beat them.
Yeah, 100%,
So
man. I think the thing is, so what struck me about Brentford is we've kind of talked about this a little bit before. I think Brentford looks to be in a similar case to Brighton, because when Thomas Frank got sacked, or not, sorry, when Thomas Frank left and went to, sorry, I'm just responding to Jay. He'll be here in a sec. When Thomas Frank went to Tottenham, and they sold Mbermo and Kirkes was Bournemouth. Who else was it? Norgard, wasn't it? Went to Arsenal. I did my predictions for the season, and I was like, they're going down. Do you know what I mean? They've put their set piece coach in charge of the team, and they've lost all of their quality. But what Brentford is starting to look like to me now is a Brighton thing, where the club is run well. Do you know what I mean? And there is like, at the end of the day,
don't say that too loud.
Yeah,
the owners will switch from Brighton to Brentford.
Yeah. But
yeah.
it just looks a little bit like that, doesn't it? At the end of the day, look at how badly Thomas Frank is. It's not even just Brentford. If you look at how badly Thomas Frank is doing at Spurs and how well Brentford are doing this season, that tells you something about the team, the manager, and the board are all obviously on one page. And it's not about copying models. It is about that. For me, that's the thing, right? That's why these teams are good. That's why Brighton have done well. I think that's why Brentford are doing well, because everyone's on the same page. It's, it's going to be a tough game. A few people have said to me already, Brentford are a bit of a bogey team for us. It's like, yeah, absolutely. But it's, we're at home. It is going to have to be a basic performance, man. Like, for instance, so far the two results that we've had are kind of expected. You expect Chelsea to beat Charlton 5-1, don't you? That's the truth. That isn't a wild. It wasn't like, I can't believe we beat Charlton 5-1. It's like, yeah, we should be beating Charlton 5-1.
Yeah.
We lost 3-2 against Arsenal with a half-cocked team. You kind of expect that to an extent, don't you? A one-goal margin, albeit either way. Do you know what I mean? I expect us to beat Brentford tomorrow, and if we don't, even a draw's not good enough tomorrow, man. We 100% need to go and win it.
No.
But again, I don't know. I didn't see the press conference. I don't know what the situation is with the squad actually.
Not too sure. I know it was Pommel that may be available. Whether that's changed now, the press conference he come out again. I haven't seen it today. But yeah, like you say, mate, a draw a lot. It's not. This has to be a win.
Yeah.
It has to be. Otherwise, if he draws or loses, then nothing's changed
Yeah,
because we're
yeah,
still
yeah,
dropping points to the
yeah,
big teams. So, or
yeah.
not to the big teams, to the
Yeah,
smaller teams
the
or the
teams we're
teams that you're
expected to
expected
beat.
to be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
to not discredit what they're doing this season, but
No, 100%, 100%.
we should be winning these games. Like
Yeah,
just, even with whether you want to call it a mediocre squad or not, it should still be and is still good enough to pick up maximum points against a Brentford. So yeah,
I, I
I
think we
think
should be beating Brentford with the squad that we put out against Arsenal.
that's
If I'm completely
yeah,
honest,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah,
And that was even before the subs and that come on
yeah,
to change the game. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, the squad it should be good enough to beat them, to pick up those 3 points. It's going to be fiery. Obviously, with the protest beforehand,
Yeah.
the fans going in will go in with. And to be fair, is it away or home?
It's at home, isn't it? Because that's why the
It's home.
protest is happening, I assume.
Oh yeah. So it's going to be just a fiery environment anyway.
Yeah.
So all players are back.
Yeah.
Good.
So
That's
yeah,
what we want to
welcome
hear.
Garvey Moxie, by the way. Good to have you back, man. I really like this comment you made, by the way, and it's something I would kind of like to dive into a little bit. I think the squad is good enough to challenge in all competitions. Generally, I agree with you. And one of the issues that I had with Maresca was that run of losses and that run of poor form we went on. Lots of people were talking about the squad, but literally a month beforehand we were second. Do you know what I mean? So the thing is, and all of the games that have made us drop so far are games we should have beat. They are games that we should have beaten. Bournemouth twice with the squad
Yeah.
that we put out against Arsenal yesterday. Do you know what I mean? We should be a stone's throw. Well, not even a stone's throw. Like we should be mixing it up with Aston Villa essentially at the moment. I think we had an opportunity to win that game as well. So, do you know one thing I'm finding crazy at the moment is the amount of 6-pointers that we seem to be having with people? Because I think aren't Brentford in like fifth at the moment or sixth?
Yep.
So
I think we're 2 points behind them.
it's kind of a 6-pointer tomorrow. We had a 6-pointer against Everton. When we played Sunderland, that was a 6-pointer. Do you know what I mean? We keep having 6-pointers with all of these, what you would classically assume to be mid-table teams. And we should be winning these games, man. Do you know what I mean? The squad is easily good enough. Devin, I'll be protesting in my local park, East London. You're welcome for increasing the outreach of the club. Yeah, man. Fair play to you, mate. Fair play to you. It's anyone that is going to the protest tomorrow, I 100% support and respect your ability to do so and make yourself heard, man. Make yourself heard in the
Yeah,
right way.
definitely.
100%.
Make it loud.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's like
Just on the
yeah, go on.
just on the challenge thing, right?
Mm.
I feel like this whole challenging in all competitions is only something that has started to come round in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't saying we're challenging for all competitions. I was saying we were winning. We should be going out and winning the Premier League this season. We should be going out and winning the Champions League. This whole, I do think, and I get it because of where the squad is and where the club is at the moment, standards have naturally dropped.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're saying this a lot, like we should be challenging. But what is nobody remembers second place.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you've.
No, it's true. That's
we
true.
should be going at the start of the season,
Yeah,
saying that we are going to win these competitions. Not like I don't want to be going. I'm so reluctant to say it this season to say, oh, we're gonna make the title race a challenge. What? So we can finish second. Done
Yeah.
that. I want to finish second. What's the
Yeah,
point?
yeah. No,
I want to
get
be
that,
going
man.
in the start of the season going, we are going to win these competitions. I feel like we've lost that.
Yeah.
And we've lost that desire, not the desire as fans to want to win.
Yeah,
but
no,
we've
from the
lost
club,
that,
from the club for sure.
yeah, the club.
100%.
We've lost that standard of going into a season. I mean, the stuff that they're saying. How can they come out and say a Carabao Cup is not important? How can they
So-
say we're only challenging for top four, being that what the standards were prior to coming in, and that's the thing. Like, you should come in with the same mentality because you have the resources. Let's not get they've got the money.
Yeah.
We know that they've got the club that's been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to work out for the last few days, like, where has this standard just suddenly dropped? Was it right at the start? Because I can't remember I probably
Yeah.
don't want to remember what it was like when
No,
they come in. But were they saying that at the start? Because I don't think they were, because we were off the back of winning the Champions League.
there was definitely no talk at all of like immediately winning trophies. And the truth is, like, do you know what? The last couple of years, the transfer windows, yeah, at the beginning, there was so much rot to get out. There was
Yeah.
so much rot to get out. And so, like, we sold over the space of to the first two windows, we sold like 60 players. Do you know what I mean? All from previous regimes and stuff. And I was of the opinion at the time, I was like, look, as long as we're not absolutely terrible, which we were, by the way, because we finished 12th that one season, and
Yeah.
luckily Pochettino got us to 6th the next season. But ultimately, at that time, I was like, look, that they are trying to do this quickly, and 2 seasons to sell 60 players in 2 seasons, that is doing it quickly. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of respected it at the start. I was like, look, that's cool. The issues have arisen since trying to build the squad properly. Do you know what I mean? So in the first couple of seasons, it made sense that we weren't challenging for the Champions League, and we weren't, I didn't expect us to drop as much as we did, but as long as we were moving forward, I kind of got it. Where we are now, this is the point where it's like, right, the idea was get rid of the dead weight, start building your own squad, your own culture, your own, make the club yours, and but ultimately focus on winning again. I think the problem that they haven't been very forthcoming about their desire to win stuff. That's a massive issue, and that's one thing that the fans in particular, we're really, really clinging on to. We want to win stuff, and we're not seeing it in the actions, and we're not hearing it in the words. So you like, just kind of to answer your question, do you know what I mean? You've been saying, like, when did all of a sudden, when is this talk of challenging for all competitive, like, when was that even a thing? It's like an unspoken thing that has arisen because
Yeah.
of what we've seen evolve over the last couple of years, rather than the message that's coming from the top. Like, to be fair, like, Roman didn't come out all the time and say, I want to challenge for titles, but he showed it
No,
in
showed
the
it. That's
way
the
that he
thing.
ran the club, didn't he? So
Yeah.
this is the thing, man. This is the thing. It's really difficult because I don't believe that they don't want to win the title. And that, there's you kind of just said something a minute ago about what was it? Yeah, I can't believe that they don't want to win the Carabao Cup. Like, mate, it doesn't matter if the owners don't want to win the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
Liam Rosinia and the squad want to win the Carabao Cup. No one's
Yeah.
they're not going to throw it at this point. We're
Yeah.
not we're not we're
But
not
what it's
we're
what
not
it takes
bottling it.
away. Yeah, yeah, but what it takes away, because we've had this discussion before. Like, you can sit there, if I was a player, and you can sit there and tell me, "Oh, Champions League's not important this season. We're only."
Yeah.
I'll be like, "No, bun you, mate. I'm winning this. I'm gonna
Yeah,
try my
yeah,
best to win it."
yeah.
But what it does do is it takes the pressure away, and pressure, it can make or break players, but generally in these type of clubs, pressure works wonders. That's why when we go into games as underdogs, we can perform well. But when we get to that stage of crossing the line,
Yeah.
we can deal with the pressure and get over the line. But when you start saying things at the top, and these are the people that make the big decisions, they decide
mean-
whether you come or go. If you take away the pressure,
Yeah.
and obviously, it's not going to be fully taken away. But if you're publicly
No.
coming out and say that, there's no point publicly coming out and saying it, and then behind closed doors going, slapping him with a whip, going, "How dare you lose it?" That doesn't make any sense. You might as well just say nothing.
Yeah.
But to take away the pressure off him,
Yeah.
does it help him as well? Like, knowing that there's no pressure on not having to win. For Liam's sake, I
Well,
don't think so. I think
the
he
thing
kind of
is,
needs
like,
it.
it's interesting, actually. So just before I answer this, I'm just going to say a
Yeah.
couple of welcomes. Welcome, Omar. Welcome, Kamafia. Good to see you back, guys. So it's interesting you say that, because last year Maresca came out and said we're not in a title challenge, and when he did that, he went on to win 2 trophies in that season. This
Yeah.
year he has said we are in a title challenge and absolutely spanked it. Do you know what I mean?
Reverse psychology.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally,
yeah.
literally. I'm just going to bring up the couple of comments Omar's made here because they are very good. I don't feel any hope for the rest of the season. The club stays trying to gaslight us, saying we're in for Van Dijk last season before he signed. Sensei for centre back, but he's 29 and too old. Why are they trying to back Liam when Maresca was asking for all of these things? So this in particular, I think Maresca would have been given the same things. I don't think that Liam Rossini has come in and he's getting special treatment. I think if Maresca would have stayed, he'd have got the same support that Liam Rossini is going to get now. I think it's like crazy to think like the man's won you 2 trophies and you're going to bring this guy in from Strasbourg and give him the things that you wouldn't have given Maresca. Like, no, why would you do that? Why would you punish your manager for no reason? I don't. So Maresca walked. Let's never forget that. He wasn't sacked. he walked, and we know that he walked because he didn't take a payout. If he was sacked, he'd have been paid. He didn't get paid, so he didn't get sacked. He walked away, and if he'd have stayed until now, he'd be getting a centre back. He'd be getting, do you know what I mean? Ultimately more of what he wants. Just to finish off Omar's point, actions speak louder than words, and at the moment, the way they are conducting business, going more for projects instead of quality experienced players, 100%. I think that if anything can change from the protests, right, and the pressure that's being put at the moment on the ownership, I don't think that they'll leave. So I don't think Blueco out is what's going to happen. It should be something for me like Blueco change. Do you know what I mean? If Blueco can change their model, like they've got footballing people in there. Dave Fallow's a great example. Experienced footballing guy who's been part of building a winning team that won trophies and competed across all fronts for quite a long time. There is experience somewhere in the directorship about building winning teams, right? For me, I want to see the model change to put in football like accolades, like winning trophies before building a brand, a business, a project, whatever. I think that you need to get the fans on side like now. Do you know what I mean? 100%. I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
So, I there's talk about Rudiger. That would be interesting. Even Semenyo to an extent, even if they can find more experience within their own model and go for 24, 25-year-olds who have got a few seasons under their belt and a quality. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to necessarily be 28, 29 years old. It just needs to be people that have got time under their belt, maybe a bit of winning experience, or at least experience at the top level. What do you think, Kai?
Yeah, I mean, we look at the players that we're targeting and what clubs they're playing for. The biggest deal. We talk about the players just gone to Leeds from cancelling the loan from us. I mean, Buonanotte, why would you be looking at players like that to elevate the club? And and I see Kamafia's there. He has pressure to make UEFA Champions League next season. When did that become the pressure? That was a prerequisite back in the day. That's what you start in the season. That was mandatory. You made the pressure was going to win it. So
the thing is, though,
now?
Anytime a manager didn't make Champions League under Roman, they got sacked.
Yeah.
So is that what should happen now? If Liam Rosinia doesn't get Champions League,
Mate,
should he be sacked?
They're doing it anyway. They're sacking managers left, right, and centre, not just because they're not making trophies, because they're falling out with them. So
yeah,
at least Roman was sacking them because they didn't meet the demand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys are just sacking for the sake because someone's walked in and probably not said hi to them or something. You know what I mean? There's no the sackings that they're making. Maybe Potter
got
maybe because he was really underperforming and not
Tuchel
just
sacked,
in the football.
Potter sacked.
Yeah.
Maresca walked. Pochettino walked. So at the moment, and the rest of them were interim. So we're talking, we're on
interims. I don't technically count as because they're just there to point to, but they are falling out with managers more rather than sacking them because they're not meeting the requirements. Now, okay, I get it. Maresca could have got to the end of the season and maybe they would have sacked him, but that doesn't matter because he didn't get there. He's walked away.
He could have turned it around as well, though, man.
He could. It's one or the other, but that making Champions League should be a prerequisite at a club like this. That should just be, that's like bare absolute minimum. The pressure should be going to try and win things. That should be the pressure. And yeah, I agree, Omar. It is a sell to buy club, which we've put ourselves in that situation though.
Yeah.
By the extensive buying that we've done. Because I think if they obviously had to spend, I think there was a certain amount that they had to invest in the club. I want to say, was it 2 billion?
Yeah.
Or was it $1 billion?
No, I think it was
something like that. I think before they signed, they had to invest a certain amount of money into the club. If you know in the comments, let us know what it was. And they've probably done that now. But also,
speaking of comments, quickly hit the like, guys, if you haven't already. Let's get more people into the stream. Sorry, I always forget to do that. Sorry, Kai. Sorry to interrupt you. Carry on, man.
That's right, mate. If I could try and find my train of thought now. But I think with the amount that they've spent, and we can talk about the quality, but if we're just talking about the amount, they've put us in a position now where we have to sell
Yeah,
in order to buy. And I get it's because of the rules,
yeah.
but because they have
Well,
spent so much money, they are on the
so
line of the
things
rules.
are things are going to be different next season. So I'm not sure how much you know about it, but the spending rules are going to change next season. So the
Yeah,
UEFA stuff is the UEFA stuff, right? That's obviously only pertaining to the Europe squad. If we get in the
yeah,
Champions
yeah,
League or Europa League or Conference or whatever it might be, the UEFA spending issues or sanctions or whatever they are
yeah,
only
yeah,
affect our European team. In the Premier League, it was a couple of months ago, all of the squads voted on a new way to distribute funds and to be able to spend, which is going to open up spending for all of the clubs, including ourselves. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I think they've moved it to a model where it's like you're allowed to spend 75% of your revenue
yeah,
on improving the team, essentially. I think it's 75, 80%, something like that. So with that, we will be able to go out in the summer and we will be able to spend again. So these UEFA sanctions, like I say, only pertain to the European squads at the end of the day.
yeah.
So if we
Yeah, but then we look at it's not like we haven't spent reasonably large sums of money, more so at the start of their tenure.
yeah,
Yeah, no, like I said, I appreciate the comment previous come off because he has got, and all managers will have a certain amount of pressure. I just feel like, and that's what he's saying there, that though they do have some sort of pressure, it's changed from what the pressure that managers used to get, and
yeah,
that's the only thing that I'm worried about. I don't like it when our owners and it's coming out that we don't care about certain things because it just takes the pressure off. And I feel like for people to grow and players to grow, they need to have some element of pressure
yeah.
for every competition. They shouldn't be and we're not in a position to take any competition lightly. Like we should, at this point, we should be trying to win everything that we can because we're in
Yeah, yeah,
such
yeah.
a poor state. So, and it should help them because it's not
Yeah.
massive amounts of money,
I
but it's
don't
money at the end of the
I
day.
don't
I
even
don't
buy
get
it,
it.
man. I don't even
Yeah,
buy it, if I'm honest. The thing is,
no,
like, any source from anywhere could come out and say, "Oh, I spoke to someone inside that said we don't even care
yeah,
about the Champions League," and everyone would go, "Oh, why
yeah.
do we?" So the
And
thing
I'd
is that
agree with it if it
this
was the
is
first time,
this is being
but it's
sold as
not like,
gospel, but I don't
yeah,
think it matters whether the ownership think when it. No, honestly, I just
yeah, yeah,
genuinely don't think it's important if the ownership think we should win the Carabao Cup or not. Liam Rosinia
yeah,
is not going to sit in a room with the owners and they're going to go, "We don't care about the Carabao Cup,"
yeah,
and
yeah,
he's going to go, "All right, do you know what? Then I'm going to tank it. I'm going to
yeah.
put out the worst team
Yes,
possible, and I'm going to get knocked out on purpose." No, he's going to try and win it, man. Of course he is. So I think the rhetoric surrounding this idea that the
yeah,
owners don't care about the Carabao Cup, they probably won't care about it from a business perspective because it won't make them any money. There's very little actual
yeah.
financial prestige or anything that it will do to
But it's
bolster the squad other than
it will be their priorities that they would have sat down and set with him. So I can
yeah,
imagine them sitting down in the first meeting of when they're signing the contract, going, "Look, you've got 6 months.
yeah,
This is what we want from you."
yeah,
So, like Kalmaf is saying there, you've got
yeah,
to make Champions League.
yeah,
You've so that would be top four
yeah.
minimum, top five if
The
depending on how
coefficient.
rest of the
Yeah,
coefficient ways. But let's say top four in this situation. Maybe they say you've got to try and win the FA Cup.
yeah,
Maybe they say that, and then
yeah,
they've gone. Doesn't matter about the Carabao Cup. Don't worry about winning that. So if they're setting those priorities, which
yeah.
could
But
be a positive, as a manager, you're sitting there, and even if you want to win it,
yeah,
you still know, and this is a subconscious thing in the back of your mind, that little Jiminy Cricket that's sitting there going, "It's okay if you don't win it. Don't worry
yeah.
about it." And you can sit there and go, "No, he wants to win it, and he's not because he didn't throw it. He obviously used the
No,
best that he can. And I
yeah,
guarantee
yeah,
if he had
exactly.
those other players available, he would have put it out. And I get
Yeah,
that, but there's still if he loses or gets knocked out, in the back of his mind, he's going, "It's okay, don't worry about it," and
well,
it doesn't
yeah.
affect the decision. And I get Maresca
I
bottled
don't
onto
understand why that's
it
important
is
though.
it is important. It is very very pressure in sports. Do you think Usain Bolt would have become what he became if he didn't have pressure on him?
Yeah, but he is under pressure. Do you know what I mean? It's not he's not under no
Yes,
pressure not to get anything done. He's got massive pressure. He's got to turn around and after this absolutely terrible run of form that we've been on, and he's got to get us into the Champions League. Do you know
yes,
what I
but
mean? And I don't know. And
we're
the thing
talking
is,
on a psychological level here.
you said so yourself, man. It's a list of priorities at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We don't know that they said to him the Carabao Cup
No, no,
doesn't
no.
matter. As far as literally, it could be the Carabao Cup is the lowest on the list of priorities. And would you
Yeah.
disagree with that? Do you think that it is more important to win the Carabao Cup or focus on getting into the Champions League next
There
season?
shouldn't it shouldn't
Obviously,
be a
Champions League next
differentiation. It
season.
should be important. Everything should be just as important. As we're not in a position where we can pick and choose what's more important. Everything should just be as just winning trophies should just be as just important as making Champions League. I'm sorry, when you're at this type of club, everything, especially in the state that we are in now, everything should be just as important. You shouldn't need to pick and choose what is important. Everything from box standard, it should be
I don't. I don't think that's
go out
realistic,
and
though, man. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that every.
if
I
I
don't.
said if I said to you go out and win it,
Yeah.
not you have to win it, go
Yeah.
out and win it,
Yeah.
is different to me saying don't worry about it if you don't win it.
Yeah, but you're
We're
you're you're,
talking
yeah, but you're potentially inventing that. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. Is like you're talking about it like 100%. That's what's been said, and you don't know that.
yeah, but
That's
you're
the
talking
case.
about 100% that it
No, I'm not. No, I'm
doesn't
not.
matter.
I'm leaving it open to
If
interpretation. I'm
but
I'm I'm,
if
ba- I'm
if
saying that like it's one of them, man. Like I think that he is going to absolutely do whatever he can to win this competition, and I don't think that pressure from the own because he, as a manager, wants to come in and do a good job. Do you know what I mean? Enzo Maresca tanked cups, right? We've seen
yeah,
Enzo Maresca tank cups, getting knocked out to Brighton and Newcastle last season. 100%. He didn't field strong squads. He didn't change his tactics. He barely even made any substitutions. That's what getting tanked out of a cup looks like. That's what the pressure looks like when your manager accepts that. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? What will be the making of Liam Rosinia is the performance we gave against Arsenal, man. We kept going until the final minute with a battered squad that was missing half of its best players against the best team in the country. That does not smack of a performance where the owners have said, "Oh, don't worry about the Carabao Cup." Do you know what I mean? Because he wouldn't have carried on going. Do you know what I mean? It's like the players would have got that message from him. And this is one of the big issues that Chelsea have had under Maresca over the last few months. The messages that have been going out to the squad are coming through Maresca and what he cares about and what he thinks he needs to care about. Liam Rosinia's mark of will he be a good manager for Chelsea will be as much about does he go for that cup or not, regardless of whether he's been told to or not. Do you know what I mean? So I think, and this is the thing, character in a manager is so important.
yeah.
Enzo
But
Maresca
you're
didn't
still
have it.
talking about subconsciously. If they're planting a seed, and we can say if, buts, and maybe, but if they are, or if they're not saying it behind the scene,
Yeah.
we'll never know that
No, never.
without being in the room. But if it's also coming out of out on the media outlet, and we're in a media age, this
Yeah.
is another avenue that is potentially coming back, which goes back to the manager. They can sit here and say we don't pay attention to the media. It's bollocks. Of course they do. They're going to see
Yeah.
everything because it's part of it. Now they'll have teams that help deal with it, especially for individual players. I get
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
but
for sure, for
if
sure.
it's coming from multiple angles, and
Yeah.
we can take away the club, let's say the club are not saying it, but if it's coming out on this subconsciously, and we're talking about the subconscious mind here, psychologically, it can play a factor, not just in a manager, it can play a factor in players' performances.
Yeah, for sure,
And
100%.
yeah, and we'll see. Now, I don't think he's going to tank it because I think, at least from him speaking,
Yeah.
he understands that the state that the fans are with the club, and
Yeah.
he knows that, like we said, the first thing he needs to do
Yeah.
is get us on side.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
100%. And by doing that, it's showing that, if he went out,
I bet that's
yeah,
basically what we're both saying, though.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even think we actually disagree on this point.
No. It's more you're disagreeing with the fact that we're trying to say it as gospel when
Yeah,
it
yeah.
couldn't been.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you take it from both sides and media outlets and potentially club, it
Yeah.
could be coming from multiple different angles, which will always
Yeah,
get back to the squad and through players and managers. It'll be interesting to see the next game, because obviously this Arsenal game, his hand was forced
Yeah, for
because
sure.
he was missing players.
Yeah,
So if
definitely.
he then feels the same lineup against, and to be fair, they did all right in certain players, I would say did all right. But if
Yeah.
he feels the same squad against Arsenal in the next round, being
Yeah.
that it's a must win, and he has everybody available,
Yeah, 100%.
then it's like, well, okay, then he's
definitely.
thrown it.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
if he
yeah,
goes out and
definitely,
win it,
definitely.
and I'm not saying that himself doesn't want to win, because I think every manager would want to win everything because it's
Yeah,
how
of
they
course.
determine their success in their career. But I'm just thinking from a subconscious point of view, that little voice that you don't think about but is there. These kind of things do play, and it's a thing we talk about confidence, right? With Sanchez in particular,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
these mistakes he made, and his manager, great, come out, he's backed him. It's my fault if they make these mistakes, blah blah blah. But he's going to be seeing the backlash from the fans because it will be there. I was one of those people, not so much on him, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we saw a return of something that we didn't like in Sanchez.
Yeah,
So that's coming from all the fans. His performance is going to be analysed
yeah,
after the game, so he's going to have to watch that. So subconsciously, that's going to affect him mentally. And this
yeah,
is what I'm talking about. Mentally, it messes with them.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we may not see it and we may not hear it because they have to hold themselves to a certain decorum in press conferences and players, you would hope. But you can see it more in players because obviously they're out on the pitch. But that's what I think when you start doing these little things like saying things aren't necessary or aren't as important, you're putting almost like a crutch on the
Yeah,
person you're saying mentally. And that's what I don't want them to do. I'd rather them give the full pressure on Liam Rosinia and seeing what he can do and if it makes or break him. Because that's what potentially could happen. It could break him completely and it could
yeah,
be an absolute turbulent, terrible season,
yeah,
or it could make him and turning him to something. And that's what I don't. I don't want them to crutch him because
yeah. No, I
they
agree. I
are
agree.
worried
I
about the potential backlash of it.
if the question is, should Liam Rosinia have pressure on him to win everything? Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
100%. I agree with that. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But for me, I don't know if a manager worth his salt is going to try and win all of these
yeah, yeah, yeah.
competitions that we're in. That is an excellent point to introduce our next special guest to the Friday Night Blues, gentlemen. It's Jay
Hey,
from Talking Chels. Jay, how's it going, man?
how we doing, guys? I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, we're all right, man.
Doing
We've
good,
just been
mate.
proper
Doing
getting
good.
into it.
Yeah. Oh man, sorry to disrupt the flow.
No,
You have to
it's all
fill
good.
me in.
It's all good. No, we were just talking about the expectation on Liam Rosinia and having. It's strange because we're having a nuanced argument about something that both of us agree with, but it's ultimately about like the reason that we're having this argument in the first place. Essentially, is obviously there's a lot of noise in the media at the moment that the owners have told Liam Rosinia that they don't care about. Excuse me, the Carabao Cup, right? The apparently now maybe you know a little bit more about this than we do, so it'd be interesting to because you're the news guy. But where I am is I don't. There's so much flying around at the moment. I don't know if that's gospel, and for me, I don't think even if that has been said in some way or other, I think Rosinia is going to try and win this cup, man. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's going to tank it.
I don't think he has a choice. I think he has to. Look, reputable sources have come out and briefed that conversations have been had saying that the words pretty much verbatim from the report is, if we go out to Arsenal, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's not the attitude to have. And I remember covering this when it first came out, thinking, I understand what they're trying to say, but these types of conversations should never ever be public. The fans
Yeah.
should never ever see that
Agreed.
ever or hear
Agreed.
it.
100%.
Because what
Yeah.
you're telling me, you said that the standards at the start of the season were, top four, Champions League qualification, deep cup runs.
Yeah.
And just before a semi-final, before the whole mess with Maresca, briefs are coming out saying that you don't care about that. Like, it's not the end of the world if we get knocked out. What do you mean?
Yeah.
We haven't won a domestic trophy in 8 years.
Yeah.
We're in a semi-final. Well, I know we're one leg in, but when it was coming out, we hadn't even played that leg.
No.
So I feel like for Rosinia to win the fans over, to keep his job,
Yeah.
he has to win everything he can. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's a tough ask. He's been just dumped in midway through the season. So yeah, I mean,
So do you think? So the
wild.
kind of the question that the argument that we were having is Kai is of the opinion that Liam Rosinia is less likely to give it his all. I think is kind of what you're saying. If he has it in the back of his head that it's not a big deal if he loses. Do you know what I mean? Do you think that?
It won't affect him mentally in terms of like when we lose a game, it hurts, man. But if you're being told by the hierarchy that it's not important, subconsciously in the back, you've crutched yourself going, well, okay, I've lost it. It's all right. I wasn't expected to win it. And I don't want him approaching a game like Arsenal with the, like Jay was saying there, with this, oh, it's okay if we go out. Because it's not okay. And I don't want him to be thinking like that. And he might not be, but when you've got club and the media pushing it, and you're hearing it day after day, because it's been spoken, we're speaking about it now, and it was a while ago.
Yeah.
So it's still going around, and it's going to get to the players, and they'll be thinking, oh, maybe he does think like that. Maybe he doesn't care, and that's not something we want, especially in this moment of time right now, around the club, the players, and the manager. So that's what I'm disappointed in a sense.
I hear that. I think Rosinia's going on a generational PR run since his appointment. He just is. And even the owners are saying, oh, he's so much better in the media than Maresca. Yeah, we know. Like, we can see it. It's very evident. And I even said it in one of my videos recently, I'm getting a bit annoyed because everything he says is perfect. It's exactly what you want to hear. And even he said multiple times, don't judge me on my press conferences, judge me on the results on the pitch. Now, obviously, we don't know him personally. We can only speculate, right? But I would like to think someone in any profession would always want to do the best that they possibly can. Yeah. But I think you're right in a sense where he might be thinking, right, I still want to go out and try and do as best we can. However, I know I'm not going to get sacked straight away if we go out of this competition. I know I've got a bit of a buffer, a bit of a safety net where it is Champions League qualification is the be all and end all. Yeah. And that's what I know as a manager that I need to deliver on. Everything else is kind of do what you can. But again, you just don't want to be hearing that as fans.
So do you think essentially then, without the fear of knowing that is a pressured thing, that he might not perform as well, without that edge and without that fear hanging over him?
I think he has to perform well because he still needs to win the fans over.
Yeah, that's what I think.
If he goes, do you know what? We'll just pay a load of academy lads. We're out anyway. What's the point? It's just get the clock ticking down and see you later.
The thing for me is like,
there'll just be a big revolt.
Kind of what I said to Kai just then, like for the ownership to say the Carabao Cup is a low priority for us. Like I get that because it's not, there's not loads of money in it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there's nothing like that. So I can understand it from the businessman's perspective that is what they're going in with. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately, for me, I just don't think that Liam Rosinia hears that and goes, "Oh, do you know what? Then it's fine. It's fine if we lose it." I think Liam Rosinia has come in at a time he knows is tumultuous for the club. Like people are really, really struggling. Desperately, he needs to get the fans on side and he needs to try and get us all on the same page again. And I don't think there's going to be a better way to do that. For instance, by beating Arsenal to get to the next round. Do you know what I mean?
There's a few things after the first leg. Different pockets of fans with different views and opinions, right? And that's why we all do this. We love it. We're all fans at heart, right? So
yeah, of course.
I feel like with Liam's appointment, when he comes out and says all these things and he's saying about results on the pitch, I agree. I think that there was a lot of fight and there was the way we clawed ourselves back into that game, especially in the second half, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But when he comes out saying, "Oh, the boys gave everything," it just gives everyone PTSD to Graham Potter.
Yeah,
because he used to say that week in, week out. Yeah, so I think, again, he's got leeway. He's been there 6 days. It's a big, big ask. And I think a lot of us fans get so emotionally attached and react to a lot of stuff. And sometimes you take a step back. He's also going to get the squad on his side. He's been there less than a week.
Yeah,
just about a week, theoretically. But, 3 games in a short space of time. He's going to need to do it quickly, but bed in and try and implement his stuff. But ultimately, I think that you're right from a business standpoint, financially. Yeah, Carabao Cup wins you when you win it, it's like 1.5 million. It's not great on the sheets. It's great for the fans. Like I said, we haven't won a domestic trophy in 8 years. I don't care if it's a League Cup. I want a trophy.
100%.
And there's always the argument about Community Shield, mate. When I was growing up and seeing the turn of the tides of Chelsea and going from the end of Ken Bates into Roman Abramovich, you'd celebrate that like you won the Champions League because it was a trophy. It was silverware. You know what I mean? I know it's obviously different now in terms of what we compare it in because we've gone on to win Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues. But mate, I would be doing backflips if we won the League Cup.
Yeah, me too, man.
Just because the sheer absence of it.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it's so important, man. It's like I think it's important for the same reason that I did at the end of last season as well. Like, regardless of what happens this season, if we can win the League Cup, then that's 3 trophies in 2 seasons. Do you know what I mean? And it's part of building a winning mentality in what is still a very young squad. Do you know what I mean? So
I still feel very good about the FA Cup this year as well.
Yeah,
I think that our squad is just perfectly built for cup competitions.
We've been really lucky with the draw. We've been so lucky with the draw as well, man. Do you know what I mean? Because we've got Hull, haven't we? Which is, the narrative is obviously there. And
I was about to say, it's almost like it's a bit too coincidental, right?
Yeah, written, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes it's written in the stars and very coincidental, but
I'll take it, man.
It's the narrative.
And at the end of the day, it's like
Brighton still in it.
I hope not.
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head.
Mate, if
Okay,
we get
there is.
knocked
I
out,
guarantee
by
we'll
Brighton,
get them
I'll be
next.
livid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was it? Because I can't remember who it was, but there was some really tough games in the first round, man. Weren't there like some of the
Oh, Macclesfield taking out Crystal Palace. Obviously,
there was two.
the
I'm sure
magic
that,
of the FA
it
Cup.
was Tottenham Spurs. Do you know what I mean? Like Tottenham to be in your first round in the FA Cup. To be Tottenham
Villa, wasn't
Spurs. Yeah. Sorry, Villa.
Villa,
yeah,
Villa
Tottenham
Spurs,
Yeah, Villa Spurs. Tottenham Spurs. What's wrong with me? But yeah, no. I think the FA Cup draw is really really good, man. It's almost 2-3 hits, isn't it? With Charlton and then Hull back to back in.
They've just announced the fixture date as well. It's Friday the 13th, 7:45 in February.
You're lying, aren't you? No, it's not Friday the 13th.
Yeah, it is. I got pinged earlier, and I was like, "Oh right, cool." So not only is it Rossini against his old team, but it's also on Friday the 13th. You don't get many of them.
Brilliant.
So that'd be interesting.
Oh,
But it's an
mate.
away game. I think it'd be a great day out for the away fans that go. I think
Yeah.
it's one of those ties that you expect to win on paper. Again, I love the FA Cup. The magic
Yeah,
of it.
yeah,
You
me
never
too,
know
man,
what's
me
going to
too.
happen.
Yeah, it's,
And I think we can go far.
if we end up in a final against Liverpool, I'll be livid. Is that
But
even
I'd back
possible
us in a
now?
final. Like I said, the way that we're set up, I just think in a one-off game, cup competition, I think
Yeah.
we're set up for it. We're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
set up for the consistencies of 38 games across a season. We're
Yeah,
just
that's a
not
good
there
shout.
yet.
That's a
You
shout.
know, but if you say one-off game, anything can happen.
So that neatly leads me into our squad maybe not being ready yet. That neatly leads me into we're going to talk about some transfer stuff. We've got a few little stories knocking around. There's a little bit about players coming in, but there's a bit about players coming in, a bit about players coming out, a bit about some other players and some other teams that I really want to talk about as well. The first thing is the first piece of actual Chelsea news this season, in this window. Is Facundo Buonanotte is leaving Chelsea to join Leeds on loan. Was it just a waste of time?
Yes. It screams, do us a favour. Like, we'll scratch your back if you scratch ours. Do you know what I mean? I know it probably isn't that, but it just comes across that way. We did the same thing with João Felix. We bought him in the summer, loaned him out in the January, sold him in the summer. And obviously, Buonanotte's not our player, but he played eight games, got 1 goal, 2 assists, very limited chances. I thought he was quite a tidy player. But yeah, he goes back and then goes on another loan. I was actually having an argument with a Brighton fan in my comment section about it yesterday, saying how much that Brighton fans highly rate him and he's one of these sought after talents. And I was trying to argue the case that if he's that sought after, why has he been on 2 loans in 1 season? I think he's a tidy little player. You can definitely see that there's room to improve, but I think he's of a good enough standard. But Brighton fans rate him really highly. I think Leeds will be good for him. I think he'll get the game time.
Mate, the thing is, at the end of the day, right, even if he goes on to be an amazing player, sometimes, like, we used to have Mo Salah. Do you know what I mean? And Mo
Kevin
Salah,
De Bruyne and
Lukaku
Lukaku before he went on his career.
and these players weren't good enough for what we were aiming for at the time. And now, obviously, what we were aiming for then is a little bit different to now. But at the same time, I feel similar about Facundo Buonanotte. Maybe he can go on to be amazing. Who knows? But at this point in his career, he's not good enough to win Chelsea games. Do you know what I mean?
He was originally, this is what is baffling about it, is he was originally going to go on a loan to Leeds in the summer, and we hijacked it.
That's
So
interesting.
we've hijacked that
Yep.
and gone, we'll have him. He's gone, yeah, all right. And then we've used him 8 times. Like what?
Big up Mo from the Blue Lounge. Welcome to the stream, man. Always a pleasure to
Hey,
have you.
love you, man.
So yeah, Kyle, what do you think about Buonanotte?
Yes. It wasn't a pointless signing because the reason we brought him in was to have backup for Cole Palmer. So it'd be interesting what they're going to do now because either they need to go out or shift
think-
someone
I think
into
João
the
Pedro,
middle.
mate.
Which
I think João Pedro.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling that we're probably not going to see much of João Pedro as a 9 anymore. You know,
no,
I
he
think we'll see him
seems
as a 9
to.
tomorrow.
do you reckon?
I don't see
I mean,
you
if
doing.
he's genuinely got a fever, I don't see Mark Hughes leading the line, and I don't think that Delap will be. The turnaround's too quick. I think we'll see João Pedro.
I saw someone in the comments earlier said that all the players are back, so I'm not sure how valid that is, to be
Yeah.
fair, because I missed
I mean,
the press conference.
Delap's had quick injury recovery, so
He has. I mean, he wasn't
it's-
pictured in training, so
maybe.
everyone else is
Okay.
back. But
Right, okay. Fair
Yes.
enough. I do maybe think the long-term idea, like if you look at the Strasbourg strikers, Panicelli, Omega, they're
I
much
can't wait
more...
for Omega, man.
Mate,
Can't
yeah,
wait.
yeah, same. I wish we were getting Panicelli, man. I think he's...
I know.
absolute
Do you know there's been question marks over him because he hasn't scored in 10 games,
Oh, really?
and I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you know how young he is and how great he's had this season?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
strikers always go through a drought.
Barren runs, mate. Yeah.
Every season, it's sort of expected. Even the robot goes through them.
True.
Just waiting for him to start this. Actually, no, I don't want him to start this season because I need City to win it. And bun Arsenal down. But yeah, I think Buonanotte it was a panic thing to get someone into cover. It was pointless. He didn't get played. For his development, it was pointless because he wasn't playing any football. So
here's one for you. Do you think getting Buonanotte on loan was a better idea than buying Xavi Simons?
Hindsight, yes, because Xavi Simons is trash.
He's not doing
But at
well.
the time, no. At the time, I mean, I was so invested. And again, look, I'm the news guy. I do this every day, and I try to be as objective as possible and I give my thoughts and opinions, but sometimes I get wrapped up in the narratives too. We're only human. And the whole Xavi Simons thing, I was like, oh man, we better go. I was genuinely disappointed when we didn't. I was like, oh man, like, mate, it was built up so much.
Let me tell you how
looking at how it's played out, I'm kind of like, dodged the bullet there. Do you know what I mean?
It's one of those. He doesn't look great, but again, under a different manager and a different team, could he have looked? You just don't know. But I suppose in hindsight, we've saved ourselves from.
I was so sold by the Xavi Simons news, or the Fabrizio Romano noise, and all the news that was coming out. I'd made a comparison video of last season's stats for Xavi Simons, Rayan Cherki, and Florian Wirtz, because they were three new young centre attacking midfielders, and it was like a 20-minute video, and I'd pulled up stats and facts and figures and this and that and the other. In that video, so basically I compared every single one of their stats, and whoever won that particular stat got 3 points, second place got 2 points, last place got 1 point. Or it was, I can't even remember what it was, but Xavi Simons last season was the worst out of those statistically. Anyway, so that was something that I just spent so long making that video, man, and then he went to Tottenham and I was like
man, I've been there before. I'm doing a daily news video, and as I'm editing it or it's uploading, more news drops and you're like, oh man, I've got to wait until the next period to upload it. I've been there, bro. It's like the Mark Gay news today.
Oh mate. We'll get onto that. I've got that lined up. I just want to highlight this comment from Garvey Moxie to see what you guys think. I think Maresca didn't trust his players. If he got time, he would have been good for us. So I think that's in regards to Liam Delap. Oh no, Buonanotte. Sorry, Buonanotte.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely a massive argument to say that Maresca didn't trust a lot of our second string players in particular. I think he over trusted his first team, didn't he? Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, Marco Correa, Pedro Neto, Cole Palmer, to the point of playing them in dangerous ways, essentially. Do you know what I mean? Literally played them into the ground. So yeah, what do you guys think about that?
I mean, there's definitely evidence of Hato's one of them.
Yeah.
He seems like a tidy-ish player with more game times, which we all, well, at least I do feel, I know you feel the same, but that he should have had more minutes than he had already gotten.
Oh, for sure. There's so many opportunities for him to play.
Yeah, but he didn't. So there's definitely a few players, well, I'll say more than a few, that Maresca clearly didn't trust but should have. But there are some that I wouldn't even say like Tosin, right? I think he put too much trust in Tosin in certain situations.
Agreed.
Where he should have put it in the likes of a Josh or something like that. So yeah, I would agree that Maresca didn't trust certain players that he should have trusted, and trusted some that he shouldn't have.
What do you reckon, Joe?
Yeah, I think again, there's so much PR and brief that comes out. The medical team and Enzo and Maresca are arguing all the time about who can play certain minutes, etc., and who needs to play for market value and all that. And there's a lot of noise. But I think when you look with your eyes, there are definitely games where it was massively over-rotated, and you think, well, okay, he's just doing it for the sake of it at this point. And then there's also games with likes of Hato, who had perfect opportunities just to slot in as a rotation to Cucurella or slot 100%. Into that left centre-back role just to give him some minutes. I always go back to the Liverpool game. Hato come on for 20 minutes to go as a left centre-back and was phenomenal. Yeah, he was phenomenal, and we didn't expect that from him. But he showcased his qualities. I feel like Maresca was very overprotective. Same with Esteval. Same with the likes of Hato, saying, they're not ready. They need to adapt. And
Josh
I get it to a point.
Man. Josh
kept coming out in the press saying he loved him and he's the best thing ever.
He played like 3 unbelievable games in a row, and then we didn't see him for like 6 weeks. Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy.
Like, what's going on? Madness.
So I think there is definitely, and look, we can all see with our eyes, there's a big drop off from our first team to anyone that comes on in terms of quality.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't blame him, but I think he did take it too far.
You got to
think there
develop
needs to be a
players
bit
though,
more of a
haven't you?
balance.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Not even just under this model. Like, forget about the model. Forget
Or
about
just in
anything.
general, yeah.
In general, it's like you know, as a manager, part of your job is to develop players. Like, we're not Man City. Do you know what I mean? We're not like, okay, every single player in the squad is pretty much ready to go. I bet bar this season where they are, you know, working on a youthful rebuild. But, you know, City season's gone past. It's all been like, here's 25 ready to go players. You don't need to put any time developing into them. You just need to tell them what you want them to do. Any other squad, do you know what I mean? Bit of development.
The thing with Man City though is they're also very they're not messing about. No. It's been an off season for their season standards. It's January, made 2 massively world class signings. That bang, all right, cool, let's fix it, and they'll go on the second half of the season.
They also don't overload the squad. We've seen what's happened with Liverpool in the match amount, and we pretty much change our entire attack every couple of windows.
Couple of years.
Every couple of years. Our defence has been thrown about and stuck together by duct tape from players going on loan to Crystal Palace and Chalobah and being brought back because we need to. So with City, it's very tactical. They pick a certain area and they improve it, and then next summer they'll improve another area if they need to. It's not a massive overhaul, so there's not much embedding.
And it's again, they go for the best of the best that's available in that position they need. And they don't mess about.
Yeah.
And kind of bargains as well, man. Do you know what I mean? Like Semenyo and Gurhey, man. 20 mil for Gurhey. So we're going to get onto the Gurhey thing in a minute. Daniel's back. There he is. Yeah, nice one, Daniel. So we're talking about transfers at the moment, Daniel. So one thing that I'm just going to bring it so I can read it a bit better. I've made a little note about one thing that Liam Rosinia said in his press conference. I can't remember which one, but I'd like to know what you think about it. It was so apparently Rosinia is in daily communication about transfers. So obviously a big part of the narrative that's been going on is Maresca wasn't involved in anything. Now, I don't necessarily believe that. Like, I think Maresca signed off on João Pedro. I think Maresca signed off on Delap. Do you know what I mean? Some of these players that he's worked before and stuff. And I think the narrative, personally, is being blown up in light of the situation at the moment. Do you believe or do you think that Rosinia has a say of what is coming in and out of the squad at the moment?
I mean, I think he has more of an understanding on how Blueco work because of what he's done at Strasbourg for the last 18 months. And he's come out many times and said, I've not had a player come in here that I've said no to. And I think there's a pinch of salt to it because he's also not had a choice. If you're being given Andre Santos, you go, okay, thank you. Yes, please. If you're being given Petrovic, thank you, please. Yeah, all right, cool. If you'll be given these players, there might be another signings that I'm not a Strasbourg fan that might have come in or whatever. But I think you are right. The narrative's been blown up in terms of, Maresca had no say whatsoever. Well, of course, he would have had some sort of input. And then we found out that Maresca would say, I want these players. And the team above him, the recruitment team, would go, yeah, none of those, but same profile, the X, Y, and Z. And it's like, okay, cool. Yeah. I think because Rosinia's in daily communications, he still doesn't have say. I think he's just going to say, I would like players of this profile, ideally, blah, 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 blah. And then again, it might be the same situation where they go, well, maybe not this player, but we can get this one. Same profile, bit younger, whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think I agree on that part. Like, it's profiles. I don't think Rosinia will be going in with names. He'll be going with a profile of player. And I think that's how the club want to do it.
Get me a
high
wide winger.
Do you not think that would have been the same for Maresca, though? Maresca doesn't strike me as the type to be like, get me this player. I think he was a bit of a profile guy, wasn't he?
I feel like the Lap would have been a name because he's worked with him in the past.
Yeah, that's
and it's a City thing.
Is that not a Joe Shields thing, though? Did Joe Shields not go, Enzo, would you like Liam Delap? Do you know what I mean? Because obviously I think Joe Shields' Man City connection is a lot stronger, isn't it, than Maresca's?
Maybe a slight sway to it but again, I think Maresca would have worked with Joe Shields while he was there anyway. So
Delap's actually a weird hybrid. Work with Joe Shields, work with Maresca, and work with Rosinia.
Yeah.
At Hull, wasn't it?
Wild, isn't it?
And he played on the wing, I think.
Played him right wing.
Yeah. Do you know what? I do see him put crosses in sometimes. And we've got a couple of interesting comments here, guys. So just one thing on what we're talking about at the moment. Vanna, welcome to the stream, by the way. I clocked you earlier. I think every manager, head coach would have a say, but a choice, I don't think so. I think that's a fair shout, to be honest. I think that I think that most managers, I think there's very few managers in the Premier League that get to say, get me that player. Do you know what I mean? I think that probably what we're talking about with Maresca and Rosinia is probably how it is with any team that's got a sporting director, isn't it? They'll go in with a profile, say, get me this kind of player, and then they'll probably negotiate about names. Like, I imagine a list of names will be handed. Who would you like? Who would you be interested in out of these? And then it's like this guy, this guy, this guy. So I do think that's interesting. So just to take a quick sideline away from transfers, a little question from Mo from the Blue Lounge. Big up, Mo. Thoughts on Garnacho? Is he starting to impress or still lacking? Big question, boys. What do you think?
I think, I said this to you off stream, from a sub perspective, I think he's great. He's someone that, not just the Arsenal game, he done it in the Champions League against Karabakh. When he comes on as a sub, he just seems to have an impact all the time. When he starts, he tends to go a bit missing. I like Garnacho. I think there's something to work with in his mentality is 50-50 for me. He's someone that sees himself on a massive pedestal, but his ability is not there. And he just needs to match that together. He can get his ability there with training and development, don't get me wrong, but he needs to bring the ego down a little bit. But you also want that from an attacker. You don't want an attacker that's in a shell that doesn't think he's great, because those kind of players, think about the Ronaldos, the Messis, they think the world of themselves, but they have to, because they've got to go out. Their job is to win games.
Yeah.
For me, it's going to be the way that we use him. I still think there's areas that he's lacking. I think when he's 1v1, he struggles. But when he's running in behind, I think he looks superb. When he's not having to face someone square up and try and do a little trick to get past him. I love his cutbacks. I think that's something that we can see a result from, as long as our midfielders. I think Enzo's had quite a few of those cutbacks where he's put it wide and not put it in the net. But I think if we can get some better finishers on the ball, or Enzo can improve in shooting, we could see a lot more assists from him. I'm happy with what he's done. I want more, but I'm happy with what he's done so far.
What do you think, Joe?
I've been very public about saying that I wasn't happy or over the moon that Garnacho was being signed. And I wasn't against it either. My words were, I'm curious to see what you can do with the Chelsea shirt on, right? Just am. Show me what you got. And I quite like the guy. 35 million. He's an impact player, which is exactly what you were saying. When he's off the bench, he's amazing because he's an impact sub. That's the style of player he is. And I agree with the mentality side, but I would also counter it to say that we've not really seen that at Chelsea yet. He's been very humble in the sense of, I want to work for the team. Like in the post-match for Arsenal, he said, my job is to help the team, and I didn't do enough. He come off and scored a brace. And now he's saying, I didn't do enough for the team. So I think there is a shift in mentality in terms of it could be the environment, and he wants to work hard for this team, and he wants to work. So I respect that massively. Anyone who wants to work is great.
Do you think that might have something to do with the rhetoric that was surrounding him when we bought him in the first place? Because a lot of what we were talking about before we bought him was
mentality and his brother and
do you know what I mean? Like what do they call attitude problems, essentially? And supposedly we'd done research into his attitude problems and it proved not. So do you think that this kind of almost overzealous amount of humble nature that he's kind of given us at the moment is a response to that, or do you think that's genuinely how he is?
I think it's two things. I think he's getting older. I'm not saying he's old, obviously he's very young, but he's been in the Prem 3 years.
He's maturing.
He's mature and he's understanding what he can and can't say publicly. He might still think he's God in his head, but he knows that he can't come out and say that and put in a stinker of a performance, right? And I also think it's environment. I think he's just happy being at Chelsea, because he was clearly not happy at United. So I think his mentality's changed. His work rate's changed. We're seeing him working hard, and when he's scoring a brace and coming off the pitch and saying he's not done enough, I can't do nothing but respect that.
Same,
and I think also part of it, and I think you did a stats comparison of how he was over the last 3 years at United. His mentality grew because he was basically one of their top performers. So naturally, if you're performing every year, you are going to, and then you look at the Europa League game, he was left out completely. And as a player that's been performing one of the best out of the squad in what was an absolute, and is still a terrible Man United team, that is obviously going to play an effect. But
the other thing I always say
so far at Chelsea,
sorry to cut you off, but just in terms of the Man United side, I look at Rashford.
Yeah.
Jadon Sancho, Garnacho.
Yeah.
All three problem players, bad
Yeah.
attitudes, leave
That's
that
true.
club, thriving, work hard, nothing but professional. I'm sorry, at that point it has to be an environment thing.
Yeah, I 100%
Or a
agree.
clash of personalities with the head coach or the training staff or whatever.
The Garnacho thing for me, I initially I was like, oh, I'm not interested, and then I did a massive deep dive into him, man. And what sold me on Garnacho was as United's position of the table kept getting lower over the course of 3 seasons, his numbers kept going up. So he kept on performing better and better season on season in a team that categorically was getting worse all of the time. So for me, that showed amazing mentality. And I think the issue at the moment, like he's not hit the ground running, but we've seen sparks, man. Do you know what I mean? He scored that, you know, the game, the only goal in the Sunderland game when we lost against him. Do you know what I mean? He obviously scored a brace in a recent Carabao Cup match. Do you know what I mean? He's just come on and scored a brace against Arsenal. Like, that's unbelievable, man. He's still a developing player. He's still very young. That's the thing as well, isn't it? Is he's got the experience, but what he needs, what he wasn't so much before, was a team player. And I don't mean that like him. I mean, he was given freedom. He was given, like, you know, go and do this, go and do that. You've got this talent, you've got this flair or whatever. And that's kind of, now it's much more of like be part of a system. And I think
you're
that
a cog.
he would have been devastated as soon as Ruben Amorim came in, because everyone there knew Ruben Amorim doesn't play wingers. Do you know what I mean? He plays half space number 10s and wing backs. Garnacho would be like, I don't want to be a wing back.
And I'm not an inside forward.
I'm not an inside forward, so I'm just not going to get played. So, you know, I think that ultimately that was kind of all that. As soon as Amorim walked through the door, it was the beginning of the end for Garnacho, and I think he just kind of wants to be loved, man. He just wants to be wanted, doesn't he? But I do think we need to see more out of him, and I do agree with Kai that at the moment. So I want to just before we move on, I just want to ask this. I agree with Kai that at the moment he's an impact player, and he's definitely better coming off the bench. Is that his magnum opus as a player? Is he going to be an off the bench guy, or could he? Do you think that it is there for him to develop into a first teamer for Chelsea?
I think that left-hand side is free game. Whoever performs best consistently has it done.
Yeah.
And at the moment, Garnacho has that locked.
Yeah, that's true.
But what we've seen with Rossinha is Esteval's now getting time on the right, so Neto's going on to the left. Garnacho's coming on as an impact. I like that combination. I don't care if you start Garnacho, bring Neto on as the impact on that left-hand side, because our left-hand side is so weak.
Yeah.
But as long as Esteval, you know, our right side has been the strongest for a long time now, and Esteval's coming through there, I think for Garnacho and Gittins, it's I want to outwork everyone on this position, and it's mine. It's there for the taking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
as
think
said,
he's definitely got a...
No one's locked it down. You know.
No, at
amazing.
all.
Because before the Arsenal game, everyone was calling for Gittins because
Yeah.
of what he did against Charlton, and that's Charlton. And then you go into the next game after what Garnacho has done to Arsenal. You go, it's Garnacho, and that's what it's probably going to be like for the entire season.
I think that Garnacho's had a better season than Gittins overall, though. Do you know what I mean?
I think you'd be surprised in terms of output, though. Like, I agree on the eye. You go, yeah, Garnacho's definitely played better, but the output's fairly similar, which surprises me every time I
numbers-wise,
look at
though.
it.
Goals and assists-wise, Garnacho must be clear of him.
Yeah,
I think he's
Probably
scored
now, but just before Christmas, it was very, very close.
Oh, that's interesting. I shall have to look that one up, because in my head I've just got it that Garnacho's like scored a lot more than Gittins has. I know Gittins has been getting a few assists and that, but yeah, okay, interesting one. So yeah, we've got a couple of interesting comments here. One from Omar. He pushes the attack more than Neto. Neto stalls the attack in my option. I think from the left side. What was I doing?
Don't get me started on Neto, mate. He's most infuriating player to watch. He just is.
We got one from Garvey Moxie. He has great mentality, same energy when he start and when off the bench. He just needs to improve in some areas. He will be good for us. Yeah, so I
agree.
Okay, interesting one from Varner. In my opinion, as an attacker, what's important? Goals and assists. So yeah, I think he's good for us. I think that's kind of just what me and Kai were saying. I think that the thing is, Noni Madueke last season for us got 11 goals across the season, didn't he? So if Garnacho can essentially better that, then he was better than Madueke. And I don't think we were giving Madueke as hard a time as we're giving Garnacho this season. Is that fair?
That's an interesting perspective, because I feel like a lot of fans were giving Madueke a lot of stick. Oh, he was a scapegoat for us last season when things didn't go well.
Garnacho got it before he even put on the shirt, though. That's
I want to know when we play Plymouth Argyle why they're booing Garnacho. Every fan base just boos him. I'm like, what's he done to the world?
The Charlton game, the Charlton game.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Like, it is weird, isn't it? Like, maybe he's got, like, well, I don't follow his social media or whatever. Like, maybe he's just really horrible about everyone on social media. I'm not sure. Yeah, and another one here from Kamafia. He saved us from losing to Carrier Bag as well. That's
Yep.
true, man. That's true. So this is the thing with Garnacho, isn't it? Like, he's shown that what we need from him is there. He's just not consistent enough with it, is it? And hopefully, if he can just get more game time, more trust, more understanding of the team, the manager, if we can get the Garnacho that we've seen in the good games 60 to 70% of the time instead of 30 to 40% of the time. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of the guy. And to be fair, Madueke was a bit like that as well, wasn't he? Although maybe even little bit less, because Madueke would score a hat trick against Wolves and then go missing for 4 months.
Yeah.
Right.
We need players to produce 7 out of 10s
every single week. Yeah,
and that's
quite
every
100%.
player.
That's
And what
really
we're
quite
getting is 7 8s. Sometimes, we're getting a few players that are like 9s, and then we're getting players that are like 2s.
Yeah.
And it just throws off the balance.
Every coach at every level has always said something along these lines, where if you've got 11 players and you have 2 or 3 that have a bad game, you can get through a game, you can get a result. But if you've got 5 or 6 players all having a bad game, there is no chance you're getting anything from that game, because it's a team, it is a system, and you need a majority of that team to be performing at least a 7 to be able to chug along nicely and get results out of games.
And even some of our most consistent players recently, in particular, I think about Cucurella and Caicedo, are not
They look a
even
bit burnt out a little bit.
Yeah, I think so, man. Caicedo, since the Arsenal sending off, Caicedo hasn't looked the same. Cucurella, the last 4 or 5 games, maybe just hasn't looked quite up to it. And maybe, and this is one of my, I think a lot of that was being affected by what was going on between Maresca and the ownership. I think that bled into the team, and I reckon the mood got a bit sour. Do you know what I mean? But I hope, it is worrying, isn't it? And this is why I'm also happy to see players like Yoro Hato and Andre Santos starting to get played more and get minutes and stuff as well, because the truth of the fact is, I think we'll be more likely to get 7 out of 10s from Cucurella and Caicedo for more often if they don't play 7,000 games every year. Do you know what I mean? We need to be able to mix it up, don't we? So, carrying on with the transfer stuff, let's talk about there's 2 big things. Well, there's a few big things, but 2 big things I want to talk about. The first one is Enzo Fernandez to PSG. Do we think that this is PR? Do we think that this is maybe his agent trying to get him a new deal? Do we think, is Fernandez a cornerstone of our team that we can't do without? Or could this lead to us being able to maybe get some better players? What do you reckon?
I'm a Fernandes fanboy, so I'm always going to be biased. I'm not going to lie. I love him as a player. Okay. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a real litmus test for Chelsea fans to know if you really know ball or not. I think he's a fantastic player. He's had the best football in a Chelsea shirt over last year. Maresca got the best out of him in terms of making him a box-crashing midfielder. He does. I'm not saying he stinks the gaff out all the time, but he does have poor games every now and then. So does everyone. Yeah. I think the PSG one, it can't be a contract move. He's contracted to 2032.
Yeah, true.
He's one of our highest-paid players. I feel like PSG genuinely have him on a shortlist. They want him. I don't think there's 2 ways about that. I think the only way he leaves Chelsea is when Real Madrid eventually come knocking seriously, because they do it every summer.
Yeah.
But I feel like when Real come knocking at some stage, Enzo's going to go, do you know what? Now's the time to go. And Real Madrid will pay big money. It makes no sense, at least on the surface, why we go to PSG right now. They've got a super team and they won 6 trophies in 2025. Like, who does he replace in that 11?
Yeah, I mean,
realistically.
It's the age, though, isn't it? It's.
I mean, they've got a really young squad, man. Do you know what I mean?
No, but I mean, as in, like, for Enzo's, football is such a short. It's just a short
right,
lifespan.
yeah, okay.
And he's, we used to say about Harry Kane all the time. Why is he still at Tottenham? He could go to another team and he could win so much, and that's what he's gone. He's gone and done Bayern Munich. Enzo it's a World Cup winner at the end of the day, and he has qualities. One of the biggest things for me is he's part of the leadership group, and it's something that we lack anyway in leaders. So if you were to remove him, you're taking away another leader, which is going to put us in an even worse position.
He seems to love the club, and he really wears that vice captaincy role with pride. I always refer to this. I think it was in the Club World Cup. Reece James scores a free kick, and you see Enzo Fernandez and Reece James headbutting each other in the corner flag, which getting itself amped and pumped. And when Reece James is absent, Enzo's there. Sometimes, he throws handbags, and it's more for the cameras than it is, the moment. But it's little things that stick with me. every time he faces Mason Mount, if he just comes on the pitch, if he's been in the whole game, he's like, let's have it in the car park. Let's actually no, let's have it now. Like he just knows what it means. I think he's embodied what Chelsea means.
I do love that.
I find it hard for him to leave for no reason.
I love that that he's got a bit of that in him, man. Like, because do you know what, he loves scrapping with Brazilians as well, man. I don't know what it is.
It's a South American thing.
He's just always scrapping with Brazilians.
But that's the thing. Like, he's also a player that wants to get the best out of his career.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
The turbulence that is going on at the club with the managers going, when did he sign? Under Potter, wasn't it?
He come in January, same as Mudryk, same window, I think.
So he's had 3-4 managers already.
Yeah.
Not including
See, that's
the
bit where
interims.
that's where I kind of go, yeah, that makes sense, because he might be thinking, what's going on here? We were told Maresca was going to be the project guy. That's the longest I've had a manager, and he's gone. So what now? Now we're getting this Rosenior in. Great. How long is he going to be here for? Where am I going to get the stability? And I get there's certain players that had really good relationships with Enzo, like your Cucureas, like your Enzos, because he really kicked on and helped them develop tactically as well as, you know, what their output was on the pitch and being consistently high performers, trusted in the system, guaranteed game time. So I get that, but I don't know. There's just something about him that
man, he played too much football under Enzo Maresca for sure.
For sure.
Even he liked him a bit too much, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Yeah, for me, Enzo Fernandez, you kind of said it before, like, and it's definitely become less prevalent recently, but for the first season and a bit at least, like, it was a 50-50 thing whether he was going to have a good game for me.
Yeah.
We didn't get the player I thought we were getting. I thought we were buying Fabregas with a bit more physicality about him. That's what I thought we were getting, and it's been really unusual because I think it took a season and a half for him to find his position. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, we've seen him kind of on left wing sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Not being started at left wing, but based on Maresca's crazy formation stuff, sometimes he'd drift out there. He's played a lot of the time in the centre attacking midfield. He played a lot starting deep, but as like, I think his kind of best position for us was an advanced state starting from deep when the fullback inverts, essentially. That's, you know, to create that.
Gives him the freedom to push on and not have the defensive like responsibilities.
But also still be able to get deep and do some of those crazy looping passes and stuff. I think it would be a massive shame to lose Enzo Fernandez. But I think if we think about our elite players at the moment, Cucurella, Caicedo, Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, I think he's probably the one I would be least devastated about, because I think that for me personally, I think that the other guys are harder to replace than Enzo Fernandez is.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Enzo, I would say, is more like a Jorginho. He's a tempo setter, or he should be a tempo setter. He's got the ability to set the tempo. Yeah,
that's how he plays for Argentina, isn't it?
Exactly. And there's games where you see that he does it. I thought in the Arsenal game he was spraying passes and spraying it around, which is what I want to see. And there are games where he just goes missing and he's not involved. For sure. And he doesn't have that element of the game. But yeah, I think he would be easier to replace than a Caicedo or a Palmer.
For instance, people have torn me apart for this opinion a couple of times, but I think that our midfield generally looks better. Our deeper midfield looks better when Romeo Lavia is fit and plays than when Enzo Fernandez plays there.
It's,
you know what I mean?
It's just a shame he only plays 2 games a year, and they're against Liverpool.
Yeah, 100%. And what I'm not saying is Romeo Lavia is better than Enzo Fernandez, but I think functionally Enzo Fernandez is such an individual player with such individual qualities that aren't really just like very typical of the kind of midfield that plays in that position, that I don't even think you would replace Enzo Fernandez. I think you try and get a Lavia or a Santos, maybe, you know, like an Anderson or something. Do you know what I mean? Or he probably wouldn't come to us, but like an Adam Wharton or something like that. I think we would probably go for a deeper midfield option, because Enzo is almost like a hybrid. He's like he's I don't know. It's difficult because I
play
don't
6,
even
play 8, play 10. Yeah, plays.
Do you know what I mean?
Right-sided pockets.
And yeah, if anything, I think it's his versatility that hurts him a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like,
I think at times for sure. Yeah. Where'd you play you? Yeah. What I do like though is over the time he's been here, he's developed a partnership with Caicedo.
Yeah, definitely.
So even though he might start in a 6, he's not really. But Caicedo gives him that license to drift forward, to stay back, and I think they've kind of got that on lock a little bit.
But that's definitely under a Maresca thing, because I remember back at the Poch time.
Caicedo was left on his own.
Couldn't play together. And now
Yeah.
you're thinking they're decent.
Solid
together.
partnership.
I think that's more about Caicedo's development, though. Do you know what I mean? I think Caicedo getting better at the number 6 role has allowed Enzo Fernandez to be better in that role, because if Caicedo has a bad day, then Enzo's not going to be able to play that role.
It's also the aid of the inverted fullbacks, because it adds another extra body into midfield, which means the Caicedo, when Enzo is pushing forward and box crashing to get in, Caicedo's not going to be left isolated, because there should be an additional fullback that is pulling into midfield.
Which also why I'm not against. Go on, sorry.
Well, I don't think it's something we're going to see moving forward now, based on what I've seen over the last. I think we're looking more at the overlapping fullbacks rather than the.
Well, Hato played as an advanced attacking 8 in the Charlton game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
First game. I didn't see much of it in Arsenal, if anything at all. You're going to get. There will be times where you'll see the fullbacks in the tens.
We'll be more likely to see tomorrow, because it'll be closer to a low block.
After another.
Do you know what? I genuinely think we might see Jorgensen starting goal tomorrow.
Yeah, do you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised at this point, actually.
And it's not. I've got nothing against Sanchez. I was one of his biggest haters. Genuinely, you can go back and see the videos of me warning him out. But I've also been very fair and been back in his corner for the longest time, because I've been noticing and seeing improvements week in, week out. So it's no reflection on the Arsenal game. But I think Rossini can use this as an excuse to bring in Jorgensen, who is ultimately better with his feet, and be like, I want to play this high line. I want Jorgensen playing centre mid. So I'm going to stick him in there. He looked great against Charlton, very confident, playing crosses, played with the ball out the back. Oh, Sanchez is a bag of nerves. Let's switch it around and see what happens. I don't know. I've got a funny feeling we can see Jorgensen tomorrow. If we do, I don't know how I feel about it.
We actually saw this with Petrovic, with Pochettino. Sanchez got dropped for poor performances. The backup keeper came in. Petrovic looked absolutely brilliant underneath him. Jorgensen didn't perform well under Maresca last season, though, when the same thing happened. So that's the thing, is like Rob Sanchez has been dropped for a period for bad performances every single season he's been with us. It just keeps happening over and over and over again. Yeah. But Jorgensen didn't prove himself last time, so it'd be interesting to see if he does. Right, so I'm just gonna we get a few comments in. There's one I would like to. Omar's asked us a question. It's kind of off the back of the end of the Enzo Fernandez thing, a bit of a bigger question. If our squad continues to struggle, how much longer will our best players still choose to be Chelsea players? So this is something that I think there's a lot of depth and nuance in this conversation, because everyone's got contracts until the year 3000. Do you know what I mean? It's literally like everyone is contracted to be with us forever. But there is a lot of arguments out there that I've seen many times saying it doesn't matter how long these contracts are. If Cole Palmer doesn't want to be here, he'll find a way out. If Caicedo doesn't want to be here, he'll find a way out. So are we a ticking time bomb for our elite world-class players at the moment, where they might just get fed up?
Yep.
Yes.
100%. 100%.
It's like... Go back to the Enzo Fernandez things I was saying. He's a Club World Cup winner. He wants football is a short lifespan. They want to win as much as possible, especially these players that are on the elite level. And if we continue down this path, these players will want to leave, and the contract's not going to stop them, because what the club will hear is if Cole, because let's be real, what we're looking for, 120 mil for Cole Palmer. That's what they'll probably be the starting asking price will be at. So the club are not going to go.
I would have thought like 150 maybe for Cole Palmer.
With the way that money's going, if he goes, I want out, we'll go, all right, we'll make money off you then.
That's what the club. The contract's a genius in terms of what they're there for. Yeah. It protects the player because they get a guaranteed wage for a long time. Mm-hmm. Cool. Stability in a very unstable market, I'll take it. It also protects the club, because if a player goes, I want to go, they go, all right, cool. Here's the asking price. You find a club. They did exactly the same to Petrovic. If you find a club that will pay £25 million, you are more than welcome to go. And they'll go to Cole Palmer. You find a club that wants to spend £150 million on it, you are welcome to go, because they'll just cash in that way. So it protects the players for longevity, but it protects the club to not be lowballed. Because we're not going to have this constantly. Cole Palmer's got 18 months left in his contract. Does he renew? Does he go on a free? Yeah. Well, no, he's locked down for 9 years. Yeah.
So I am glad we're never going to be there.
If he's 18 months left of his contract, guess what? He's been with us for 7 or 8. So, cool. At that point, you hope that we get the best from him.
So do you think that the thing is, like, we're going to be asking huge amounts of money for all of these players, man? Do you know what I mean? So the thing is, like, Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, if we were to sell them in a window, that's like nearly 500k. Do you know what I mean? $1 million, for those three players combined. How many squads can afford those kinds of players realistically. So PSG, Enzo Fernandez, maybe. Who's coming in for Cole Palmer? City, Real Madrid.
City,
The thing
Barcelona,
is,
Real Madrid,
the top
PSGs.
teams
Barcelona
will
ain't spending
always
100 mil on a player, I don't think.
the things they always find a way, don't they?
Yeah.
No,
They'll
when
just sell
Liverpool
their
went out,
stadium again or something.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
When Liverpool went out and spent what 500 mil, no one thought they had that much money to spend. Yet they've gone and done it.
Well, they didn't
And
buy
teams like
anyone for a whole
Barcelona,
season.
Yeah, but teams like Barcelona, they will always find Madrid. They will always find a way to find money. That's
I
just
don't know about Barcelona, man. Barcelona are in trouble, mate.
yeah,
They've
but
been in trouble for
bankrupt
years
for
now.
years, and they still managed to bring players in. That's the
It's
thing.
like,
like,
we sold the dinner lady so we could register this new winger that we
Yeah,
bought 3
yeah.
years ago but couldn't get in the squad. They always find a way.
Yeah. It is an interesting one. So yeah, basically the answer to that question is yes. Chelsea are a ticking time bomb. If we don't get some trophies soon, we're going to lose all of our best players. Fantastic. So Kamafia has made an interesting comment about the centre backs and Sanchez that I just want to hit up on. He said Sanchez with 2 right-footed centre-backs equals KG, and then he said not having a left-footed centre-back in the pitch makes it harder to play like this. So do you think that there's something in that? Do you think that, for instance, this kind of leads us on to, we are talking about a centre-back, maybe going in for a centre-back? I know Jeremy Jackett's been mentioned. I know Sensei from Bournemouth has been mentioned. Are these guys left-footers? Are we looking for a left-footer?
Jeremy Jacquet is right-footed. He's also more of a wider centre-back than he is a central centre-back.
Okay.
Which is...
A la Azpilicueta.
I think he
in
can play
context
as a
back
central
three.
centre-back for sure, but he's more of a wider centre-back, but he's right-footed. And there's been more reports this evening saying that is the main target, that's the main target. I've been banging this drum for days saying that is who Chelsea are going for.
Yeah.
You know, Rene wants 57 million for him.
Mil. Yeah.
I
only know that because I saw it in your thumbnail.
the amount of briefings saying, and he genuinely is the most sought after centre back in Europe. Madrid, Liverpool, Arsenal.
Okay.
There's so many clubs going in for him.
How old
Chelsea
is he?
making it really evident. 20 years old.
Oh, God.
And I've watched a lot of him from what is available, and he does look like a tidy centre back. Do I feel like he comes in and raises the bar? Probably not. But he's definitely better than what we got right now.
I mean, Ron even in the top 5 in the French league at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
True. But going back to the question of having two right-footed centre backs, I mean, yeah, you got a point, but I also see other teams do it to a very high standard. Is Kanate right-footed?
No, I don't think so.
Van Dijk's right-footed.
He is. Sorry, yeah.
Alisson's right-footed. The teams can do, and I know it's you're basically saying, well, Alisson to Sanchez is a cataclysmic difference. Of course there is, but I don't know. We know Sanchez is not great with his feet. Maresca nullified that by making limiting his touches, allowing him to go long, and we saw the best of him. And I just feel like the paths all lead to someone like Jeremy Jacquet coming in, and the paths all lead to Jorgensen getting the number 1 spot because we now have a manager who wants to do Mike Penders 2.0. We have a player in Jorgensen that can do that, and it might just be the excuse to see him shift things around.
Big shout from Jay there. Big hot take. Kai, what do you think, man?
I don't agree with it that much. In terms of making it natural, yeah. But I mean, we've had Rudiger was a left-sided centre-back. He was right-footed. Cahill was a left-sided centre-back. He was right-footed. Azpilicueta, when he played, he was a fullback. He play anywhere. So we've had it's just down to the quality of the defender, really. That's what it is. If you've got a quality right-footed centre-back, they can do it. At the end of the day, most professionals can play with both feet.
Yeah.
Especially centre-backs. Like, if you're receiving the ball from Sanchez and you're a right-footed defender, you can receive it on your left foot and play it with your right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you should be able to make at Chelsea Football Club. You should be able to make a first-time pass with your left foot if you're a right-footed player. I'm sorry,
I totally agree.
Grassroots football, man. I've been watching, obviously, young kids, my brothers and stuff like that. They can pass. They
can trap a ball and make a 10-yard pass. So, yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think though it would make it easier because it's natural, I think it's kind of clutching
angles and stuff. Yeah,
quality. If you've got a quality centre back that's right-footed in a left centre back role, you won't notice it. I can tell you that now because we've had many that have done it and we haven't noticed it.
I think if anything, it's maybe part of the whole Maresca thing, isn't it? Because and since Levi Colwell's coming in particular, do you know what I mean? We've had a left-footed left centre back. And obviously Maresca was so like, I need this profile of centre-back in order to play this style of football well. So we've kind of been like gaslit into thinking maybe that has to be the case. But like, kind of 100% right, man. You just listed, Gary Cahill, Antonio Rudiger, Azpilicueta. We've had loads of great, defenders and
see,
centre-backs.
if you go further up the pitch, normally left wingers prefer to play on the right hand side because they prefer to cut in on their foot, and right wingers tend to prefer to play on the left hand side because they can cut in on their right. So they would technically be playing their unnatural side based on their foot.
In lots of our title-winning teams, though, we didn't have wingers that cut in on either side. Do you know what I mean? There's normally one cut in and one outside guy. Like, there was Hazard and Willian. Do you know what I mean? There's like Pedro and Willian. Just everyone with Willian. But it's only been in the last couple of seasons, or the last like 5 or 6 years, that we have been trying to get two wingers that both cut in. But up until then, most of the titles we won over the last decade, at least, was done with one winger that cuts in and one with
I was about to say, I was just showing my age a little bit there. I was thinking Robin and Duff. The last
I was just thinking Robin. Who was it with Robin?
Two that cut in.
Was it Joe Cole? I was like, yeah.
Joe Cole, but that's the other thing is the next season it was still Robin and Duff, but Robin had a lot of injuries, so it was Joe Cole who wouldn't cut in. So you are right, yeah. It's usually just one rather than two.
Yeah. So that's a really, really interesting. Thanks for the comment, man. It created lots of interesting debate, guys. Keep them coming in. So I've got stuff to talk about, but if you guys throw anything interested in, we will absolutely love it. And if any of you haven't clicked the clickarooed, the little likey button yet, give us a click, man, because it helps us get out to more people, and we can bring more people in to ask more interesting questions and create cool debate. So I've got 3 more things I'd like to talk about, depending on how much time you guys have got left. So the first thing I want to talk about is something I saw, and it's speculatory ultimately, but I think the ramifications are definitely interesting. In one of the legendary many press conferences that Liam Rossinier has done in the last week and a half or whatever it has been, he was asked about what's happening with Disasi and Sterling, and he said he will talk to them next week. So I want to have the conversation. Do we think that there's a route back into the squad for either or both of Axel Disasi and Raheem Sterling?
What are we doing there? Look, realistically, no. Just get rid of them. Get them off the books. Look, I've seen Milk turn quicker than Axel Disasi. He's just not a good player for Chelsea. I think he can definitely do a job. Yeah. He could do a good job as a centre-back. He had a great time at Aston Villa. He could go to a Wolves. He could go to any other team in the Premier League that's not top 6 and do a very good job. And yes, Chelsea misprofiled him at times, playing as a right back. And like I said, glaciers melt quicker than Disasi turns. It's wild. When it comes to Sterling, there's an argument, and there's only an argument because the left wing has not been locked down. That's it.
Yeah.
The guy's on 325 grand a week. He's been exiled for 18 months. Get rid of him. You're just draining resources at this point. He's going into training at 8 p.m. at night, ticking the boxes of his contract and going, thank you very much. Like, what are we doing here? No, get rid of them both. They should be the first 2 names on this window to get rid of.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I feel really passionate about these two.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. I'm glad I asked it, mate. I'm glad I asked it.
Every window. Oh, what's happening with them? Just get rid of them.
Yeah, 100%.
In the summer, they both played the game very well and turned everything down.
Yeah.
Right? Fair enough. Game's the game. But at this point, they've got PFA specialists that have been working with them since the summer to get them January moves. The PFA stepped in and said, we don't really like what's going on here. Yes, standards are being met, but you ain't playing football. Like, you need to move you on. They
turned down moves, though, man. That's the big thing. Like, Axel Disasi had 3 offers on the table at the end of the summer. Raheem Sterling turned down moves to outside
Saudi,
of the UK because he wanted, Saudi and America at the very least. And I think he had offers from the UK as well. But they were turning down all these moves, man.
I understand Sterling's in terms of you shouldn't have to move halfway across the world.
No.
He was like, I want to stay in London because
drop your wage.
Manchester.
Drop your wage. If you
that's
don't
the
want
thing.
to across the world, drop your wage. Yeah.
I think they'd rather sit there, get the maximum amount of money out of their entirety of contract because they're not on death row contracts, are they? I think they were 5.
No.
Sterling was
Sterling's 27
under Bowley when he was the marquee
Sterling's 2027.
Yeah.
So we've got Sterling.
So
for a season and a half.
if he's probably sitting there going like, I know I'm going to have to take a wage cut. So if I can see out my contract, get my 325k a week for the next year and a half.
We should have signed him on that money anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's just crazy.
It's ridiculous. Bowley playing happy buggers, and then he'll go to like a Fulham for fucking 120.
Mate, there was even talks in the summer of Chelsea saying, "Look, we'll write off what he's worth. Take him.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
amortize his wages. We'll pay the 20 million in wages we owe him. Take him."
Yeah,
But it's just down to the player. And Sterling's been very smart, and I don't blame him. He don't want to uproot his family. He wants to stay in London.
100%.
I'm all for that. I'm a family man myself. I get that.
It's not
But you're
his
limiting
fault
your
he's getting
options.
paid 300 grand a week. Do you know what I mean? It's like we
Mate,
said yes to that at the end of the day.
Do you know what I mean? Mate, if it was me, I'd be doing exactly what Sterling's doing. I'd be like, pay me.
I'm with both of you, man. I'm like, no, basically, like I remember there was talks when Tosin started having his absolutely awful runs of form. People were like, what about Axel Disasi? I was like, mate, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Axel Disasi, you know, Tosin creates errors that lead to goals. Axel Disasi scores own goals. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's just not a good idea to have him back in the squad. We've got Tosin and Badiashile. We don't need Axel Disasi as well. He's another one of those types of players.
Yeah.
Raheem Sterling, I'm with you. The only argument I could see, it's not even just about the left wing thing for me. It's about, okay, he's experienced. He's not 12 years old. Do you know what I mean? He could literally, there is something to say he's got a winning mentality, and I wouldn't even necessarily expect him to play a lot because at the end of the day, he couldn't get into the Arsenal squad, and they didn't have, they don't have amazing left wingers. Do you know what I mean? Arteta's doing an amazing job with, Martinelli is not a world beater. Leandro Trossard is not a world beater. He's getting really good performances out of them, and still he couldn't get into that Arsenal team. So, yeah, I think Sterling's not a good enough player to be in the squad. The only thing I could see about Sterling is, okay, experience is one stuff, but ultimately I'm with you. I'm like, if we can
The
just
thing is, he's going to have no match fitness. He's
No.
going to have no fitness whatsoever apart from his individual training, whatever they're doing, 9 p.m. at night.
His legs are a year older.
Exactly. So it's pointless. You're not going to get anything out of him.
No.
And they just need to go. They need to go now.
100%, man. I think we all agree on that. I've got an interesting question from Abu here. Welcome to the stream, Abu. Good to see you again, man. Hi, Matt. I have a question because a lot of people, for some reason, choose the side of the owners and not Maresca. If we lose tomorrow, is it Maresca's fault? No, it's Liam Rosinia's fault. I kind of see what he's saying in terms of like the team that's been set up and built by Maresca and stuff, but no, because the team is good enough to win. The reason we were losing all of the games before, that's Do fault as far as I can see. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't one that was blaming the owners because we lost to Leeds. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that those two things didn't track together for me. But I'm not going to blame Maresca if we lose against Brentford tomorrow. We've got the squad to beat Brentford. If we don't win against Brentford tomorrow, it is down to Rosinia and the squad.
Mate.
Maybe there's still some shelf life on the idea that, Rosinia's only been here for a little while and we'll see what the squad looks like with injuries and stuff. But at the same time, like, that is being really generous. Like, we absolutely need to beat Brentford tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think tomorrow is going to be a weird atmosphere at the bridge. I really, really do. You've got the protest a couple hours before. You've got the fact that it's Rosinia. We should start to see a little bit of more of a Rosinia team system, tactics, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Again, like you say, we would be very, very generous to say, oh, well, he's only been here a week. He's had 3 games. Like, come on now. This is the hot seat. It's hot for a reason. Deal with it. And the thing about all of it is we just need 3 points on the board.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 100%.
We've won 3 games in the last 10.
Yeah.
And it was
Take a
Charlton.
scrappy 1-0, whatever it is.
Charlton,
just get me
Everton
the 3
and
points.
Cardiff are the last 3 games
One
that we've
win
won.
in the last 9 Premier League games. Just get us 3 points, mate. I don't care whose bum it comes off. As long as it crosses the line and it ain't given offside, we take it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we take it. So, I don't know. It's always difficult. Do you blame the players for the performance? Do you blame the manager for the tactics and lineup? Do you blame the owners for the recruitment of the squad in entirety? I think it's an amalgamation of everything, and I think it's very case specific. Sure. Like you said, the Leeds game. What? Look at the tools you had available, and that's how you just decided to set them up.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, but I think tomorrow's going to be very interesting to kind of witness.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how Rosinia handles it.
Yeah.
Not just the actual tactical side of the game, but with everything going on.
The atmosphere as well. One thing I did respect from his generational PR run is they did ask him about the protest, and all he said was, fans pay money, they pay my wages, and they want what's best for the club. And I think it's probably the best thing he could have said, because he wasn't 100%. Agreeing, he wasn't disagreeing, he was basically just saying, I get it.
Yeah.
And I rate that, So, look, I think they're welcoming in it. I think everyone does have a right to have their voices heard. But I just think, again, it's just going to be a weird atmosphere. What are the fans going to be like in the stadium? in terms of wanting us to win, but wanting to have their voices heard off the back of a protest.
So we've seen that already at the Charlton game, haven't we? Like at the end of we were smashing it at Charlton, and the fans found their moment in the stadium to sing the song about.
They were weaving in and out of supportive
like,
chants, owner chants.
As long as it's balanced and you don't go in on the team, I'm up for it, man. Do you know what I mean? Because we need to win football matches, and the fan base turning against the team isn't going to help. I don't think. Do you know what I mean? The pressure needs to be put on the owners, not the team and the manager. What do you reckon, Kai?
Yeah, no, 100%. Just the way that they have been conducting themselves, the fans in the stadium, just continue to do it that way. Yeah. It seemed, they're getting their message, but they're also supporting the team, so it's balanced.
Yeah.
But it is going to be different tomorrow.
Yeah,
because of the process beforehand. So there will be a different atmosphere straight away. You probably won't hear any team chants for like the first half an hour at all, because it is just going to be, they'll be coming off the back of the protest a few hours before. They'll be going out, pushing the message still in the stadium. So yeah, it's going to be tough for the players, the managers to navigate it.
Liam Rosenior is going to have to mentally prepare the players for that?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
And be like, look, this first 25 minutes is going to be hell.
Yeah.
Because you've got to go out and do a job to do, and it's going to be animosity everywhere.
If anything, it's going to be like score straight away. Do you know what I mean? Isn't it? It's going to be like go and get a goal, because they won't be able to
shut everything up. Yeah.
Well, or make everything explode like in a good way, which is what you want. Do you know what I mean?
Tensions will be high.
I would hope that's the message. Go out and get a goal as soon as possible. Give everything you've got, like no game you've ever played before in your life. Tomorrow, first 20 minutes of tomorrow is a Champions League final. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's that important to get the fans on side. I hope that's what the message is for sure. So, a quick one from Daniel. How long has Sterling got on his contract? We've got him until 2027. Garvey says about Sterling and Disasi, I think the conversation should be to advise them to leave. 100% agree with 100%. That. Daniel, if we lose, I don't see Chelsea getting Champions League away, and we could be 12th yet. And a question for Jay. Do you think we'll get more chance at Stamford Bridge tomorrow for the game? I think we've just kind of answered that, though, haven't we?
Yeah, we will. Like I said, I think no matter what side you sit on, whether it's both sides or whatever, I think that there will just be a lot of noise at the bridge, which will be nice. I just think it just depends. Again, there's a lot of if, buts and maybes. It's just going to be interesting to see how things unfold. Because could you imagine we have the protest and we go 1-0 down in the first 5 minutes? I wouldn't want to be sat there. I just wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? We go, if all of a sudden we're 2-0 up in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Electric. Like, you know, what a perfect day to get your message heard and see the team absolutely crushing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
if anything, I think it's going to be better for the fans to chant when we're doing well. I think it's going to be more effective if they chant when we're doing well than when we're not, because it shows that the message is that much. It's so important to them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we're 2-0 up in 10 minutes, or we're winning the game 5-1 at the end like we were at Charlton. But look, here is our message still. It hasn't changed.
You know, a lot of the things you hear chucked around is win, lose, or draw, blue go out. And I think that's... I don't agree with that. But that's kind of where, if we are winning and they are still chanting, that's basically what they're saying. Win, lose, or draw on the pitch, this is our message. You need to hear us. I think you're right in that sense. That even if we are winning and they still want to do it, great. It has more of an impact rather than just doing when we're losing. Yeah.
Interesting comment from Abu here, and he's been quite honest, so I appreciate that, but I'd be interested to see what you guys think. You might disagree and say I'm not a true fan, but I want us to lose tomorrow. I'd rather not be successful with these dumb owners who I have. Now, that for me is a bit wild, Abu, if I'm completely honest. Like, I can't ever back my team, or not back my team to win. Do you know what I mean? Personally, I don't care who's in charge if we're winning and things are going well, because that means the club's being run properly. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, like that's personally how I feel about it. Like I'm never going to go in and say I want us to lose tomorrow because I hate these owners. Had you guys? We won't spend a long time on this one, but just as a quick one.
First thing, obviously, to answer the first part of this question, to me, no matter what side of the fence you fit on, if you're a fan of Chelsea, you're a fan, regardless of your opinion. Everyone's allowed opinion, freedom of speech, whatever. So I appreciate the honesty, but of course you're a fan, mate. At the end of the day, you support Chelsea.
Yeah.
But I have to disagree on the losing side of things. I will never, ever, ever say I want Chelsea to lose, because for me, the most important thing is the football, and that is winning and seeing my team at the top.
What if winning the game meant Arsenal won the title?
Oh, I don't care about any of that. I want Chelsea to win, mate.
Yeah,
I
cool,
just,
cool, cool, cool. Nah, me
Yeah,
too.
Do you know what I mean?
Chelsea win. So I could never like. I see people saying, "Oh, I'd rather us if we get relegated and it gets the owners out." I can't say that. It's not
never.
how
Not for
Chelsea
me.
need to be winning. So for me, I can't say it, but respect your opinion, mate. Abu, that's there you go. It says the same thing, you know.
Yeah, much
But
respect to
I
you.
can't.
I love what you say there. The first thing you said there, Kyle, and I 100% agree. Like, I don't really believe in this true fan thing. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think if you support your team, you support your team. Some people are match goers. Some people are content creators like we are. Some people just watch on TV. Some people are fans from the other side of the world. I did a collab with an American guy the other day who's been a Chelsea fan all of his life. Never been to a Chelsea game, but he loves Chelsea. He watches football. I think if you support your team, and whether you want them to win or lose, regardless, but you want that ultimately, you still want the best for them. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing, isn't it? So yeah, I've got great shout there from Kyle. I really love that. What are you saying, Jay?
Yeah, echoing the same. Look, who are we to tell anyone else how to support anything? You know, if you're a fan of Chelsea, you're a fan of Chelsea. Personally, I can never be negative before kickoff. If we've not kicked a ball, I want Chelsea to win. I think we can win because the ball's not been kicked yet. As the game unravels, your opinion changes, right?
Yeah.
I've never wanted Chelsea to lose ever. My brain can't fathom it, but I understand your logic and what you're saying in your comment, Abu. And the other thing I don't do, and I don't understand this, and this is just a personal preference, is when you place wagers on things, to put it politely. I can't do that on my own team. Win, lose, or draw. I just can't. I just think you're jinxing it. It's a superstition thing. Can't get around it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, look, you do you. Do you know what I mean? But for me, I don't know. I'm just such an optimist. If we're 2-0 down and 80 minutes gone, I still think we can nick it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just
I mean,
That's the
I
beauty
felt
of
that
football, though, isn't it?
up until the end of the Arsenal game, man. I felt we were in it until the whistle blew. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just like,
And I think what
honestly-
helped with that is the second half. We were growing into it. We got 2 goals, and you thought, right, it's there for the taking now. We can get into it. So it was a bit deflating that we didn't. But yeah, man, for sure. There's so many people on my watch-alongs, especially on TikTok and sometimes on YouTube as well. It's like, we haven't even kicked the ball, and they go, line up, oh, we cooked, 4-0 loss. I'm like, we haven't warmed up yet. Like, what?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know.
do like that. I mean, honestly, I felt a little bit like that when I saw the lineup for the Arsenal game because I hadn't seen the reason that all of these players were out, and I saw the starting lineup, and I was like, "Oh no, he's mental."
I was a bit like,
"Oh no,
okay.
what have we done? What, Mark, you up top? What's going on?"
This is going to be interesting. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no,
Yeah.
look, a lot of people expect us to lose that game before the game, and I get it. But at the same time, I don't know. There's something about the hero story and being the underdogs. I just love that. You know.
No, thanks for the question. A bit of a sideways one, but I think it's interesting to just
There's a lot of people that share that opinion.
Yeah,
share
100%.
that thought process for sure.
Interestingly, just as we were talking about that as well, this gentleman popped up. This is Mason from Blues and Stripes, who is the American content creator, Chelsea fan that I literally just mentioned a minute ago. Just as I was talking, he literally just popped in. So good to have you here, man. Right, gentlemen, I've got 2 more topics. Do you have time for another couple of topics, or do you want to start winding up?
Yeah, I'm good for a bit.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm
Sweet, love that. Let's do it. Right, so this one hurts a little bit. This transfer window, we might see, well, we will see at least Conor Gallagher move to Tottenham, Mark Guehi move to Man City, and potentially Ruben Loftus-Cheek going to Aston Villa. How do we feel?
Yeah, go on. You go
I'll
first. You go first.
I'll start with the Ruben one because I feel like for me, I'm happy for him because I thought Ruben was quality at Chelsea and I wanted him to do well for us, and he got that nasty injury, and I thought he was doing really well at AC Milan too.
Yeah.
And for him to go to a club like Aston Villa, who are flying, I think Emery's a great coach. I think he will do wonders under there. I'm fine with that one, and I feel like he deserves the opportunity to show himself again in the Premier League.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not going to say anything on the Gallagher one just yet.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to let someone else talk because that one
okay.
hurts.
Go on, Jay, what are you
All right.
saying?
I agree with the Ruben one. I feel indifferent.
Yeah.
Look, he's gone to better himself.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy with that. I've been very lucky to watch him at the academy level, go always through the ranks. I remember my dad always used to call me week in, week out, this Ruben kid's amazing, Tammy Abraham and Dominic Solanke, like that era of the academy.
Oh yeah, Tammy might
Super
be
into
coming
it.
back as well. I forgot about that. I can't remember. I think was it Aston Villa
Mate,
as well?
yeah, I think he's going Villa. Like again, I think Unai Emery's doing amazing with that squad. I'm surprised Conor Gallagher didn't go. He chose Spurs over Villa,
Yeah, money gotta be in it.
considering the two that you've got to weigh up there. What was the other one? Mark Gahey.
Mark Gahey to.
I mean,
City.
we get 4 million out of it. Apparently, it hurts that one because we've got 20% sell on, so we get 4 million out of that. But what hurts about that is there's two sides. Apparently, Chelsea. Mark Gahey turned us down 5 times.
Yeah,
Five times he said no and wanted to go City. And I've said in today's video, I said it when Semenyo broke the news, I have got no issue for Chelsea going in and the player saying no to us. We can't ask for more than that. If it's the player's decision and they say, nah, cool, all right. And that looks like what's happened with Semenyo. It looks like what's happened with Mark Gahey. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Can't hate the player for that.
No.
Conor Gallagher, I'm going to be honest, and this is not a popular opinion. I never really rated him. I thought he was Bambi on ice. I didn't think he was very technically gifted. I thought he just run.
Yeah.
That was it. So, Poch wanted to build a team around him. The owners didn't want to do that. We sell him. It's sad. He's a Chelsea, Cobham graduate. I get the emotional side to it. But realistically, he was a bang average player. So him going to Spurs, yeah, all right, you can say the whole he snaked us, there's no loyalty. But at the end of the day, a lot of Chelsea fans wanted him gone. A lot of Chelsea fans didn't like him. He owes us no loyalty whatsoever. But I respect what he did for the Chelsea shirt. For him, it's a boyhood dream. Put the armband on. Come through the academy. Yeah, I love that. I respect the work rate. But to say I'm angry about it, I'm just like, cool, whatever. He's going Spurs. Makes sense for him. He'll get game time. He can run around like a headless chicken all he wants because that's the sort of system that Frank wants to play. Plus, they've got injuries for the next 3 months in that midfield.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed game time. So, I'm not really that fast.
The Ruben news to Aston Villa didn't pop up until after the Conor Gallagher to Spurs thing had happened. So
it's probably because they couldn't get Gallagher that they got Ruben.
I'll give my quick 2 cents and then I'm going to let Kai talk to us about Conor Gallagher because I'm really interested in what he had to say. So for me, all 3 of them, Mark Gahey, I'm 100% with you, Jay. Like, I would love to have seen, because I've seen it a lot, people going, I can't believe we're not going in for Mark Gahey. It's like, we did. Like, we are, and he doesn't want it. Do you know what I mean? He's not interested. He turned us down, I think, in the summer as well, didn't he? Like, there was sort of a conversation
assessing his options.
Yeah, and he wasn't particularly interested because we probably just would have got him then because he was so cheap. And I get that. Like, you're going to go to City, aren't you? Let's be completely honest. You're going to go to City at the moment. Yeah. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I basically agree with Kai. Although it hurts a little bit, I will only be because mate. I pinned all of my hopes on Ruben Loftus-Cheek when he was
never
coming
sold
up.
your stocks.
That season he had under Sarri, man. He scored that hat-trick in the Champions League, and I was just like, this guy is so good. He was just such an interesting profile of player where he was really big, but he was also very technical. Do you know what I mean? It was like he
very
had
agile as well.
Yeah, really agile.
Glide through that midfield.
For a big lad.
Yeah. I loved it in just because he had such an interesting set of attributes, and Antonio Conte used to religiously play him as a striker for some reason. I never really saw that, but that's what he ended up going to do at AC Milan. So, there was something in that after all. Conor Gallagher, I'm in 2 minds about Conor Gallagher because if I'm completely honest, if we were to have Conor Gallagher in our squad right now, I would like that because I would appreciate the depth. I think I would rather have Conor Gallagher on the bench over the likes of Dario Basugo. Do you know what I mean? I think that having a player of Conor Gallagher's caliber physically, even if he isn't the most technically gifted player, someone who is almost always fit, always ready to press, always ready to run. For me, he could be the John Obi Mikel type player that you need to push on for a good season.
See out games.
Yeah. I lament that, but ultimately I'm lamenting missing that we could have had him as a good bench player. So ultimately that actually says what I think about him. That as much as I loved Conor Gallagher because he was a Chelsea boy, I never thought he was going to turn into that guy. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I would rather see him on our bench than at Tottenham at the end of the day, but I wouldn't change him out for Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, or even Andre Santos, to be completely honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
Go on then, Kai. I'm ready.
My thing for Colin Gallagher, it's not a footballing thing. It's not because he's an amazing player. It's because of the Cobham. Out. And there's been players that have, Aki's gone to like Cities and stuff, although I don't see Cities as like a direct rival, but in terms of the animosity towards them.
Yeah.
But Spurs, man. Spurs. Not. I get it for his footballing career, and I get it. These players, short career, they got to do what they got to do. But
I just think
Spurs. Yeah, it probably is because Spurs are rubbish.
Exactly.
And they're getting worse.
They are literally getting worse, mate.
They're just getting worse. I can't.
They're I mean, technically, they've improved from last season because they were 17th and they're 14th.
Yeah,
at the moment.
it's the culture. So it's not like Gallagher. So with Nathan Aki, he was brought in, same with like Izzy Brown and things like that. They were brought in at like 16. So they brought in at 16, break into the 18s, 90s, not worked out. They usually go to, was it Vitesse Armand or something like that out
Vitesse
there?
Arnhem, yeah.
And then they come in and they Bournemouth or something like that, blah, blah, blah. Loftus-Cheek, James, Gallagher, they've been in the academy since 7, 8 years old. They have gone through the culture of knowing who to hate, what team you go against to break legs. You don't lose that. So it is a bit of it feels like a dagger for him to go to Spurs because he's lived and bred Chelsea from that age.
Quick
and
question.
that's why I find it a bit hurt. Yeah, go on.
Do you feel the same about Jose Mourinho? Because he managed Spurs.
I hated it when Mourinho went to Spurs.
I did not
I hated
like
it when he went to United.
Spurs. I hated it.
felt like he
Same
did
with the United.
Yeah.
I felt more hurt about the United one than I did the Spurs one. At the Spurs one, I was like, he's just getting the bag. They ain't going to win anything.
That's
they
the thing.
He wants. He's getting the bag. But United, I was like, oh, that one hurts.
With Spurs, you never. I mean, it was an absolute fluke. Well, not say fluke, but with Ange going in there for them to actually win something. But when you look at a manager going in there, you don't go. He's going to turn them into world beaters. So when Mourinho went there, similar to Jose going in there, I was like,
Yeah.
he's not really going to do anything with them. Obviously, he had Harry Kane, I think, at the time, didn't he? Yeah. But other than that,
Dele Alli.
yeah, exactly. And you just didn't see. But players, I find different again because obviously Mourinho's though biggest love for Mourinho, what he did for us, amazing. But with players, they grow up, supported them. Parents are probably, all Chelsea fans, they have this. So yeah, man, it hurts. I don't know if it hurts more than the Mount to United because Gallagher didn't force this.
Honestly, I feel like
Mason
I'm one
Mount
of the only
thing was a
people
bit
that wasn't hurt by Mason Mount going to United. Like, even though he was a Chelsea boy and stuff, he barely played for us for the last season, and there was a lot of stuff going around saying that he'd actively been like not playing for us. Supposedly he was injured, but also supposedly he just didn't want to play because he didn't want to risk getting more injured before his next move. So I feel like Mason left us before he left us, man. So I actually
but
wasn't.
He's more similar to Gallagher. It's not on a footballing thing. It's the
Yeah.
He's grown up. I remember seeing videos back in the day, the Ronaldo free kick, and watching him play it. And you just think they've been all through that. So I find it difficult.
Also, we offered him 200 grand a week, and he said no. And then said he left for the money.
Yeah.
So
that's a little bit different to the Gallagher situation.
No,
but I feel the
true.
same in terms of the
Gallagher would have stayed if we'd have kept him.
Yeah.
He wasn't asking for more money and anything like that. So yeah, actually, I actually like Gallagher a lot more than I like Mason Mount. I'll say we've got a really interesting couple of comments, very well written from a viewer called Faban Collins. Welcome, Faban. It's kind of backing off what we've been saying. Kudos to Ruben. Glad to see him persevering and rebuilding his career. 100% because the injuries, man. He had such bad injury struggles, didn't he? He looked like another Reece James. He's not turned out to be as good as Reece James, but at least he's come back from his injuries. Fans are pessimistic because they suffered PTSD from 4 years of Blueco. Which is a good shout. Ari Loftus-Cheek to Aston Villa. This is the second year that Aston Villa have done shrewd business to build their squad in the January transfer window. If anything, I think they're doing better business now than they did last season. It seemed a little bit gun-ho last season, didn't it? They just kind of went for everyone. And Ari Gallagher, can't let sentimentality get in the way of ambition. Gallagher isn't quite good enough. Yeah, and I think that's that's kind of what I said as well. And it's like I would like to have Gallagher as a bench player, but ultimately that means that I'm not too bothered about it. Mason from Blues and Stripes said, I think Gallagher is a great cog player. He's great to have for the hard work to complement the talent around him. Spurs won't have the talent around him though. I mean, that's kind of true. How have they gotten this much worse, man? It is mad, isn't it? Fabian Collins says Gallagher and Esugo are ironically close to the same player as far as athletic squad depth. So yeah, I literally, I kind of mentioned that.
I said the only difference on that, Gallagher don't get injured.
Yeah, that is
the one thing I'll say about Gallagher. He's only missed 5 days in his professional career.
Wow.
But in that 5 days, he didn't miss a match. So it wasn't like he missed that from illness and then actually he's not missed a match.
He's literally 100% attendance. I mean, that's so rare now, isn't it? Like, Cucurella was that until quite recently. Do you know what I mean? He was just kind of like always available and stuff. But finding those players that are just fit to go all of the time.
It's different industry now. They're playing 70, 78 games a season. Do you know what I mean? So
it's true. I think Pedro Neto's done really well for fitness since we've got him.
Unreal.
Because that was a mad worry, wasn't it? You really struggled. Like, missed loads of game time at Wolves, man. But he's been really consistent for us. So, for all the stick that the medical team are getting at the moment, there are some clear wins. Do you know what I mean? Reece James coming back, Pedro Neto maintaining this level of fitness that he's never seen in his career. We're all
touch wood for Fofana this season as well.
Yeah. And Fofana is not only
repeating the Reece James cycle of last season. Manages minutes, he's staying fit, 1 game a week. See what happens.
I respect Liam Rossignol when he spoke about Lavia as well, because he categorically said no time frame. He's on grass, but I'm not telling you when he's coming back.
Mate,
he will be back when he's ready.
I've said this so many times. For me personally, I'm going to forget that Romeo Lavia is a Chelsea player, so I don't have to deal with the hopium or copium.
Yeah.
Okay. In my opinion, he don't play for Chelsea. He don't exist. He's a Fugazi, right? Because that way I can't get my hopes up.
No, that's true, man.
He said no timeline. I was like, cool. You don't exist anymore.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's the best possible thing, isn't it? Because, that takes pressure off Romeo Lavia as well, and it allows him to recover in his own time and be ready when he feels ready. Because the thing is, I'm sure they were being careful, but we know that Maresca was pushing back against the medical team sometimes. Was that the case with Lavia? Did he play him too often when he came back?
It's wild, mate. He's missed like 500 days. Do you know what I mean?
It's mad, isn't it?
It's
wild,
wild,
I don't think he was injured once at Southampton.
Nah, he was injured when we bought him.
And mind you, right at the end, and then he just And I said this to you when it come out about the news that he was going to be out for a month, and I told you then, I said it ain't going to be a month.
No,
I said,
a
it'll
month
get to the month.
is a season. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. It'll get to a month, and then we'll forget that he exists, and then suddenly someone will come out and go, "Oh, he's on grass now." And you're like, "Fucking hell, it was 3 months ago that he was injured."
The problem is the price, isn't it? Like, the price we played for the technique of the player, I think, was reasonable. But the thing is,
mate, he's a bargain at that price.
Yeah, there's been loads of people that are like, "Oh, we should get him out." I'm like, how? Like, who's going to go? Oh, do you know what? I need a player that can play like 87 minutes across 3 games in one season. Like, I'll take him. It's just going to be so difficult, isn't it? So, gents, we will move on to the last topic I have for the evening. Actually quickly before I do, Vanya says he's yet to play 1,000 minutes for us. Ari Romeo Lavia, savage man, absolutely brutal. He's been with us for 2 years now. Actually, is it 3? Nick, this is his 3rd season with us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, that's really
He's never played more than 70 minutes of a football match.
Yeah. So the last topic I've got the fixtures leading up to the next Arsenal game, right? And really interesting. So I just kind of want to go through the next. So what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fixtures. So we've got 5 games starting tomorrow, leading up to the second Carabao Cup semi-final leg with Arsenal, and I would like to know how you think we can do out of this. Do you know what I mean? I think it looks good, man, if I'm completely honest. So I haven't written the dates down, actually. I probably should have done that. But we've got Brentford, Paphos in the Champions League, Crystal Palace, Napoli, and West Ham.
Napoli
is easily the banana skin in there, isn't it? Unfortunately, because we lost against Atalanta, we now have to beat Napoli in order to get in the top 8.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work out. because we lost against Munich as well, didn't we? So we've got 2 losses in the Champions League now. So we have to beat Napoli, I think, to get in the top 8, which we really need to because we don't need more games.
I don't think we will. I think we will have more games because Chelsea do everything the hard way. We just do.
Isn't it?
We just
That is
do.
true. Right, so I'll go through the games one at a time.
Do you know
And
if they're
then-
home or away? Just to be really awkward.
I did not do enough research. I just wrote the
cool.
fixtures down.
Yeah, fair
also, I'm using my phone as my camera, so I can't even easily just check.
Right, I'll check.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
nice one. Right, okay, so I'll talk to you. Obviously, we've talked about the Brentford game a bit already. I'm not, you don't have to do score predictions or anything. Obviously, the nuance of who's going to be available for each game can be very different, and who's ill, who's available, who's got a virus and is being locked away from the team or whatever. Do you know what I mean? All that can change. But starting with, I know this one, Brentford at Stamford Bridge. I know that one at least. How do we feel about tomorrow? Do we feel like, for me, it's not only a must-win. It's like, it's indicative of the problem that Chelsea have had is not beating teams that we're supposed to beat, or that we have the better squad in. So for me, this has to be a win.
Facts, and I think that's why I enjoyed the Charlton result more than I should have, because it was a prime example of
Exactly.
Oh, so lower league team on paper, we should be battering them 5-0.
Yeah,
and we went out and battered them 5-1. Like, we got exactly what we feel like we deserve. Yeah, we had to work for the result, but that's a big difference rather than grinding one out against Lincoln. Like, what? So I think it's a must-win tomorrow. Has to be. Anything less than a win, I wouldn't want to be there.
I loved the Lincoln game purely because I got loads of Lincoln fans in my comments on my review, man. They were a bunch of legends, man. It was so nice talking to them as well. They were buzzing because they gave us such a good game, and I was quite complimentary of them because we made it look really difficult. Do you know what I mean? But Lincoln gave us a really good game. That was a really good one. Kai, what do you think about Brentford tomorrow? It is at home, isn't it? I'm not making that up. That'd be crazy
Home
to protest. It'd be crazy to protest at Brentford, wouldn't it?
Yeah, could you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, I echo the same. It is a must-win. Draw, a loss is not acceptable. They have to. He has to get this one right.
Agreed. Even if we put out the
all
same
perfect
team we put
points.
out against Arsenal, it's a must-win.
It is,
Facts.
and I don't care how it's done. Just get me the 3 points.
Yeah, exactly. As I
That's
said
it.
earlier, I don't
Just-
care if it comes in off your bum, off your shoulder, whatever. As long as it ain't offside and it counts, get it in.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
just a quick funny comment here from Fabian Collins. Mudryk might step on the pitch again before Lavia.
You know what?
love that.
It probably would happen as well.
Genuinely.
Unreal.
Paphos in the Champions League. That is a bit of a free hit
home
for me.
game.
It's a home game. Okay, so we've got
home
2 home
game.
games in a row. That's really good, actually. That is really good. For
Must
me,
win.
that's a free hit, and I think we'll see a rotated team as well. Paphos, this is their first season in the Champions League. They're a Cypriot team. They're not
David
doing
Luiz
particularly
plays
well.
for him.
Yeah,
He looks weird without his hair, man.
It's home as well.
Yeah. He looks like the bass player from System of a Down now. I'm not like I miss the crazy hair. But am I not giving the due respect to Paphos that they deserve? But for me, this should be a bit of a free hit, and I think we should rotate the team for that one as well.
I agree. As long as we don't over-rotate for the sake of it, yes.
Yeah.
We still have, look, like you said, we have to beat Napoli, so we have to go smash Paphos and really make a statement.
Yeah, 100%. Because the thing is, the game after that is Crystal Palace. Is that that's
It's an away game.
That's an away game. So
It's away at Palace.
First game of the season. That's what we're looking at. Though there's a lot of unrest at Crystal Palace at the moment. Mark Gurley's just gone to Man City. That's one thing that's massive. Also, I don't know how true this is, but I've seen a lot of stuff today saying Oliver Glasner has
Leaving at the
announced
end of
that
the
he's
season.
going to leave
He
at
is
the end of
leaving.
the season. So for me, that seems nuts to announce that now. That means there's problems. Do you know what I mean? That means there's problems, doesn't there? Is he going to get the Man United job? Is that what this is about? I don't know. But all of a sudden, I feel better about the Palace game because no Gurley and the unrest. And we've seen what happens to a team when your manager and your board have fallen out. Do you know what I mean? We know that better than anyone. So,
Also, our away form's pretty decent.
yeah.
yeah, it's better
Compared to our
than
home form.
home form.
So yeah, go on.
Only thing I'd say is I feel like this game's even up to the Arsenal game. Though I want to see a lot of the fringe players get some minutes. I don't think we should rotate, if at all, and try and play our strongest team for every game.
If Rosinha finds a winning formula, just stick to it.
What, even for Paphos?
Ma-
Because this is a game
Yeah,
every 3
the-
days.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it
main
is.
thing is there is a lot riding on these next 6 games. If we win both Napoli and Paphos, we don't have to play an extra game. If we lose One of
So,
them we'll have to
if
play an extra game.
anything,
If we lose both, we're out.
that's why I
Arsenal,
think.
we lose, we're out.
Yeah, no,
So
100%. This is why I think that Paphos is a good opportunity to rotate, though, because Palace is going to be a tough game, even if it's more winnable than it was before. And then we've got Napoli after that. So I feel like.
And that is Napoli away, by the way.
yeah, the thing being though, if Paphos was after Napoli,
Yeah.
a little bit different. But if we were to rotate too much and say we got a draw or
Yeah.
we didn't win against Paphos, we're now 100%. We have to beat Napoli to even stay in the competition.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Over
No,
the next 5 or 6 games, and the thing is with the Premier League, I know we've got the Palace and they're going for a turbulent time. We can't afford to drop any points, which means we can't afford to mix the team up too much. So, though I'd want to see some fringe players get minutes, I would rather him try and stick to something just to get through this little period.
For me, it's not even about fringe players getting minutes, right? So let me exaggerate on that a little bit. So Cole Palmer, right? Say Cole Palmer starts the Brentford game tomorrow and scores a hat-trick or a brace or plays really, really amazingly well or whatever. Do you then put him on against Paphos in 3 days' time, or do you give him a break and make sure that he's fit for, and maybe give him cursory minutes towards the end of the game, but not start him and bring him on at the start of the Palace game and then start him for the Napoli game? Or do you start him in all 4 games?
I would, if he's fit, obviously I don't know the extent of his injury, but if he's fit and he's ready to play, I would start him in every game and use a Paphos game to take him off of the 60th minute. But what we need to make sure that we're doing in this small period is we're getting maximum points in the Premier League.
Yeah.
We are winning the Champions League game, so we don't have to play an extra game.
Yeah.
And staying in that competition and going out and beating Arsenal to stay in that competition.
Yeah.
This window, because if we drop all points against Brentford, drop points against Palace because we've rotated too much, we're seeing ourselves down in 12th. If we drop points against Paphos, lose against Napoli, we're out of the Champions League. And if we lose against Arsenal, we're out of that cup. So we potentially lost.
I don't think we'll be out of the Champions League if we lost against one of Paphos or Napoli. I don't think we have to win.
But it's adding the extra game.
So we had the extra game.
That's what I mean. We want to try and avoid the extra game because we don't want an extra game.
Yeah.
If we rotate too much,
I
mean, we don't know what Paphos is like. We shouldn't lose to them.
I don't think put a fresh 11 out against Paphos of completely different players. But I think that's the only opportunity before the Napoli game really to rest any players. Bearing in mind we are playing 3 games every week. So for instance, Fofana may start the Brentford game, but he probably won't start the Paphos game. Do you know what I mean? Or something like that. We know that Fofana's 1 game in, 1 game out at the moment. So stuff like that's going to happen, isn't it? So Palace, obviously, we talked about. So Napoli, there's a couple of things I want to talk about with the Napoli game because I think this is, like I said, this is the banana skin. This is the big one that in order to I genuinely believe that Paphos is a free hit. I think we'll beat Paphos. We smashed Ajax 5-1 or whatever it was. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember. It was a massive scoreline against Ajax. Generally, I would think that Ajax are better than Paphos, and I think we've got more of our squad available to us, and we had played a heavily rotated side against Ajax as well. So I think Paphos is a free hit. I could be wrong about that, but that's how I feel. Palace, I think that that's going to be a tough game. Napoli is the must-win if we're going to finish in the top 8 and get through to the next round of the competition without having to play all of these extra games. So, as of right now, Napoli are, I think, 4th in the table, 3rd or 4th in the table. Their last 3 games have all been draws. So they are not on a very good stretch of form right now, which I think plays into our favour because Conte will not be enjoying that at all. The 3 days before they play us, they play Juventus. Sorry, Napoli are in 3rd, Juventus are in 4th. 3 days before us, they play Juventus, which is a 6-pointer. So I think that actually really plays into our favour as well. And in the Champions League, Napoli have only beaten, in their 4 games, they've only beaten Karabakh. They've either lost or drawn all 3 of their other games. So, the banana skin is Napoli because of the narrative of Conte, Lukaku,
Scott
McTominay to a
McTominay.
lesser extent. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But looking at where Napoli are in and around, that's actually a game that if we're on a good run of form, I think we can really take advantage of. If we win against Brentford, Paphos and Palace, I'll feel really good going into the Napoli game because they are in a difficult situation at the moment. But if we don't get good points out of the next 3 games, I think the Napoli game will be really tough because there's just a story there, isn't there?
Yeah,
There's just a
and
massive
teams
story there.
the big teams tend to turn up against each other.
Yeah.
Most of the time. That's why it's always a pretty heated exchange. So, Napoli's always a tough game, mate.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
No matter when you play them.
We were talking about this the other day, weren't we, Kai? It was was it not both times we won the Champions League? We had Napoli in the group.
Yeah, I think we played them, but it's the fourth. It's the one in the 2012 one.
Yeah,
that one was the one where we were going into that game down, and we needed to get. I think we beat them
3-1
Was it
down,
4-1?
and then
4-1?
we beat them 4-1 at home. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, and because there is so many little narratives attached to it with players like Lukaku. I mean, he's gonna bloody try.
I mean,
and score,
I know he's been injured quite a lot this season. I'm not sure. I'm not actually one of the. I know everything about Napoli apart from whether Lukaku is injured or not at the moment. Essentially.
Yeah, we might see if he's available. Is he going to be probably going to be available for the game? He'll probably make sure he's available for the game.
I mean, they bought another striker, didn't they? I can't remember who it was, but
They've got Rasmus Højlund.
Rasmus Højlund. There you go, another one.
Rasmus Højlund, right?
There's
Absolute
a lot
balling out there.
There's a lot of Premier League narrative attached to that game, and we're going to play it in their backyard, which is
that's where I think it's difficult because the other thing we need to realise is a lot of this squad haven't even played. This is the first time in the Champions League.
Yeah,
they've never gone away to Napoli. They don't know what that hostile environment's like.
Apart from Reece James, who won it. That's mad, isn't it? We've got one Champions League winner in the squad, and everyone else is green to it. Like, that's crazy.
So that also is something that plays into it. But like you said, if you got recent form for both teams, and we do get a run of games, we should be battering Napoli. But I don't know. There's prestige to that.
I think
fixture.
How much Napoli prioritise the league over the Champions League will be the saving grace for us if things aren't going well. If things are going well, then I think we'll give them a good game on any day. But if we don't have a great stretch of games leading up to that, like I say, at the moment, like they've got a 6-pointer against Juventus 3 days before that. Do you know what I mean? So that's, they're going to put out a full strength team for that. That'll be a massive game for them. Us, we've got Palace 3 days before, which is a big game for us, but nowhere near the same. Do you know what I mean? Nowhere near the same. And last but not least, before the Arsenal game at least, is West Ham. So I'm not going to lie to you.
That's a home game.
Okay, cool. That's good as well because that means we're only playing. That's so we're playing 2 away games of the 5, and the away game. They're both the Prem ones actually, aren't they? Palace and West Ham, but they're both in London at the end of the day, so there's not loads of travel and there's. Do you know what I mean? So, looking at the next 5 games, 4 out of 5 of them are that game I've been talking about with Maresca that we were losing when we should have been winning. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's not, I think Paphos is a straight hit, but those other 4 games are games we should be winning. Napoli, bit of a question mark, understandably. Big team, Champions League, loads of really good players in there. But for me, regardless of who the manager is and, not regardless of who the squad is, but with the squad that we've got, I think we should be winning. All 4 of the games we should be winning, and Napoli should be a test. That's how I genuinely feel about the run leading up until the Arsenal game. And if we win 4 in 5 going into the Arsenal game, that's good, right?
Yeah. Builds up the momentum, which we've struggled to build up, really. This will be the test for Rosinia to pick up results against teams that we should be, that we're not. So he's got an opportunity now to right those wrongs and then go into the bigger games. And if he can maintain the results against them, then he's on the right track. Yeah. It's a bit scary tomorrow, isn't it? Because Jay's put the fear in my head now about Jorgensen.
Trust me, I know why. I've just got this weird feeling he's going to start.
I get it, man, because like I say, we've seen it before with Sanchez. Like, he gets dropped, and we've even before Sanchez, it was like Edouard Mendy, wasn't it? Like Edouard Mendy Kepa got dropped for Edouard Mendy, then Edouard Mendy played for a while and we won the Champions League, and then all of a sudden he's getting dropped for Kepa, and then Sanchez cut, and it's just the goalkeeping situation has been a mess for such a long time now, and I expect that to continue. So I could 100% see Philip Jorgensen. And the thing is as well, when it, like, if Jorgensen doesn't start getting some game time soon or some trust soon, he's going to get sold. If Liam Rosinier is currently looking at Philip Jorgensen going, I prefer your profile to Sanchez's profile, the only way to stop him from leaving is to give him loads of game time. And and also potentially, it scares me to think about it because he's been pretty bad at some points this season. But if he plays Rosinia's style of football better, then maybe that is actually a way to more quickly transition into the new style of, or the slightly newer style of football.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking, you tell Jorgensen to play as a centre midfielder, he'll go, yeah, all right, I can do that. Because technically he can do that with his feet.
Yeah.
And if he wants to play Mark Pender's football, then
Mark Pender's
I see that as the gateway. Do you know what I mean? I've seen watching Mark Pender's doing roulettes on the halfway line. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going around of opponent strikers and just pinging the ball 40 yards.
I did a comparison video between Sanchez, Mike Penders, and someone else. I can't remember who else it was actually, but it was Mike Maignan. That was it. Mike Maignan, Sanchez, and Mike Penders. I did a comparison between the three of them. By far and away, it's not even close. Mike Penders' short distribution is much, much, much better. But also, Mike Penders' shot stopping was the worst of the three. So it's a scary one. It's a scary one because obviously Sanchez has been a really pretty good shot stopper up until recently, and that's kind of what we've been relying on. But does playing with your feet mean you get into less positions where you need to be a good shot stopper, so it kind of balances out? Or I don't know, man.
I mean, the argument is if we've got the ball, they can't score.
Yeah. But they do.
Yeah.
We always have the ball and people always score against us. It doesn't work.
We do 400 passes and get nowhere. They just route one and that's it. They're in.
Cool. Right.
I have seen under Rosinier has been a little bit more settled, a little bit more structured defensively.
Yeah, interestingly, before you came on, I was talking about some of the positives I've seen in the attacking play in particular since Rosinia's come in already, and the main things that we talked about were brave passes through the centre of midfield coming from Andre Santos and Enzo Fernandez, the likes of that. And the ball getting funneled out to the wings, but the wingers are cutting in rather than just hanging out, passing it back to the centre backs, getting passed around there, push forward away, and do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's definitely a couple of positives. Right, I'm just gonna look at a couple of these comments, and then I think we should start wrapping it up, boys. Thank you very, very much for sticking around with us. But just before we wrap up, Mason says, I personally think the centre back should be the same. This is about the run of five, same in every match, but some of these players will need to be rested based on how we tend to play. We saw Cucurella drop off after Barca and Arsenal because Maresca wasn't giving him a break after two tough matches. So, yeah, that's kind of what I was saying with rotation, man. I don't think we need to, change the 11, but I think we need to be smart with getting players to, playing the right way. Fabian Collins said Palmer most certainly shouldn't start against Paphos, so that's genuinely how I feel, but it'll be interesting to see.
The thing with Paphos and Palmer, though, is Palmer has spent a lot of... Yeah, he spent a lot of time out this season, and he needs to start getting match fitness up. But he also, like Jay says, he needs confidence. Yeah. Paphos is a game that he could probably score a couple of goals in. That was doing wonders going into a Napoli and an Arsenal game with 2 or 3 goals under your belt, a couple of assists. You're going to be in a much better position mentally.
I'm just concerned because the reason that Palmer missed the last game was or he's missing this game. No, he didn't play the Arsenal game, did he? Am I making that up?
No,
he didn't play the Arsenal one.
No, and the reason for that was because the reoccurrence of the groin issue, wasn't it? So I just think it's unlikely that we're going to see him 4 games in a row.
There's always something against Arsenal. He just doesn't play that fixture.
So, a quick one from Mason again. You guys may have already talked about it, but the Sanchez hate has been crazy. Rory Jennings is now claiming he's been poor all season.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
The most Chelsea fan, right?
Just as we're wrapping up as well, Courtney, big up, mate. Welcome to the stream. We're gonna hang around for a second, but appreciate that. So, Sanchez hasn't been poor all season. That's completely disingenuous. I had a guy comment on my video yesterday saying Sanchez is the worst keeper in the Premier League. I was like, mate, what? I was like, what?
Joint second for clean sheets.
Joint second for clean sheets. Like, are you telling me you'd rather have Jose Sarr from Wolves in goal at the moment than Robert Sanchez? Do you know what I mean? That's wild, man. That's wild. I think the reason that people have gone in so much on Sanchez about the performance is against Arsenal is like PTSD. Do you know what I mean? It's like a flashback. It's like a reoccurrence of a traumatic event that we've seen so many times before that we'd only just started to get over, and then it's happened again, and we're just right back there. So I don't agree with it, but I do understand why fans are being a touch hyperbolic, shall I say, in the most polite way possible, about the Sanchez situation. I think the truth of the fact that Sanchez is an absolute slave to the style of football that is played in the team that he's in. If you do not play to Sanchez's strengths, not only does he not play well, it
Highlights
ruins
his
his confidence. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Me and Kai were talking about this before the stream. Like, the reason that the mistakes that Sanchez made in the Arsenal game weren't mistakes caused by bad distribution and short passing. Do you know what I mean? There was confidence issues with not grabbing onto the ball when his positioning was bad for the corner and stuff like that. But that confidence issue may well have been caused by the fact that he was having to play short passing distribution, which may have affected
our build-up
his
was
entire
so
game.
all over the place. And I
Yeah,
also
it's
feel like the
horrendous.
fans had a massive impact on his confidence that game.
Yeah,
Because they did not get off
definitely.
his back the entire 90 minutes, kept telling him to go long, go long, go long,
Yeah.
and booing him
And that's the
jeering him.
thing.
I'm like, you've got Mark Guiu against Saliba and Gabriel and you want to go long. Like, stop trying to coach the team from the stands. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
So with Sanchez being like, I'm being told by thousands of people to go long,
Yeah.
anxious. My coach is telling
Yeah.
me to do this, anxious.
Yeah.
Like, I just think he was just a big ball of nerves, wasn't he?
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him. Do you know what I mean? Because he's kind of like, it's not of his own making. Do you know what I mean? We've seen that he can be a good goalkeeper in certain respects in a certain type of team. Unfortunately, we desperately want to play a style of football that he is not very good at. That is not his fault, and ultimately, that is what we'll see him not be our goalkeeper long term. If we'd have kept Maresca, I was of the opinion that the Mike Maignan chase should just be off. I wasn't bothered about it because of how well he's done this season.
Yeah, what a turnaround. We were
Yeah,
all screaming
yeah.
for Mike Maignan in the summer, and even when I was covering, I was like, I don't want him. Sanchez is class, mate. I feel confident with him in the sticks. I look at the team sheet and go, oh, I go, oh, cool. That defense is solid. Well, relatively.
I do think that Sanchez will be a casualty of the Rafinha era.
What
do you
I
know
don't
I mean?
get though is the board have continuously told him he's the long-term number one, and they've propped him up and fluffed him up and blah blah blah. But as soon as we go play this desperate style of football we are craving to play, and he can't play it, he just goes to pot. So what is it going to be?
I think
'Cause
they're
I don't
just
think he's
hoping
at the
that
age-
new manager will
Well,
be able to get.
Maresca did it and had to learn the hard way.
I think they
Rafinha's
don't
come
want
in
to
to play the style of
spend.
play. Is he going to
I think they
do
don't
the
want
same
to.
thing?
I think they want to play this style of football. They don't want to spend big money on a keeper because they want Mike Penders to be the keeper. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's just been about
Yeah, for
papering
sure.
over this crack until Mike Penders is ready to come in. And I'm not going to lie to you. I think the end of the season, Mike Penders comes in now.
I was just about to say, when do you think he's ready? Because at the end of the season, he'll be 21.
He'll be
I
in
think
the season.
I think it's now. I mean, mate, Courtois was 21, 22 when we won the league. Do you know what I mean? Courtois was maybe not quite that young, but he was really, really young when he won the league with us.
Fair.
I don't know if, I mean, to be fair, he won the league with Atletico though, didn't he? So it's obviously there's a bit of a difference there, but I do think stylistically, Rafinha loves him. Do you know what I mean? Rafinha loves him, and he plays
and he's had him, isn't he? And
Yeah.
he's been playing that. He would have been playing that the entirety of the season at League One.
Yeah.
That time.
Yeah.
I'd assume they're going to want Gary O'Neill to play. I haven't watched games
The
since.
thing is,
to
Can
play
you imagine Gary
similar
O'Neill
style of-
playing Pender's ball?
Mate.
Do you know what I mean?
Mate, I can't. Do you know what? I was talking to someone about this, man. Is like, do you know what I'm dreading is Rafinha getting sacked and Gary O'Neill becoming the next Chelsea manager.
Yeah.
Are we trying to work out at what point the timeline fractured? Do you know what I mean? Because
Oh, mate.
what?
I'll be like, how do I get back to the good timeline, man? And they're
Yeah,
like,
like, unreal.
why did I end up in this one? That's just not fair. I bet we're somewhere we've got Pep and we win everything all of the time. Do you know what I mean?
Wild, mate.
But no, it is wild, isn't it? It is wild. Couple more comments just to wrap up. Fabian Collins, Penders looks good at Strasbourg. I just haven't seen him challenge with crosses often enough. So the truth of the fact is, like I said before, I've done a very big statistical deep dive on Penders. Unbelievable with his feet, questionable with his hands at the moment. He is categorically the worst shot stopper out of Mike Maignan, Robert Sanchez and himself. So, but the thing is, evidently, teaching a keeper to play with his feet is really difficult, but naturally keepers get better at shot stopping as they grow.
Save
So
some
if
shots.
Penders has already got the distribution thing down, and he only needs to get better at shot stopping, which is very natural for goalkeepers to do anyway, then I guess that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? A copium probably from my part.
Yeah,
But I
and it's
do-
also
Right.
it'll also be the
My-
the percentage of chances as well, because you think at Strasbourg
Yeah.
he will be facing more chances because they also played away, where yes they created lots of chances, but they also conceded a lot of chances. It
Yeah,
was
that's
very
true.
gung ho.
Yeah,
So
that's
he's gonna have percentage wise he's gonna have more shots to try and stop. Where Sanchez and Munyon, there's a little bit more structure, or should be, to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just hoping that Penders lives up to all the hype that all the fans have been. But like they're talking about him like he's going to win a Ballon d'Or, like how he's
Yeah.
like the second coming of Jesus, and I'm
Courtois
hoping he
2.0,
lives
mate.
up to it.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what I'm
me too,
saying.
man.
Oh, he's the next Czech. He's Czech without the helmet. Well,
He's not.
I can't wait to see it.
He's no one's the next Czech, man. No one's the next Czech. He's all in his own category. And one from Blues and Stripes from Mason. Magnon's 5 goals conceded against Spain reminded me of Onana. I was kind of happy we didn't get him. So that's actually true. Onana hasn't had Magnon hasn't had an amazing season. Since he didn't get bought by Chelsea, he stayed at AC Milan. He hasn't gone on to be absolutely incredible, and he's only, I think, he's not even France's obvious number one. Do you know what I mean? I think there might be injuries or something to whoever it is, but they
Still
you know,
secured himself a €6 million a year extension till 2031, though, didn't he? With AC Milan, fair play. to
Oh,
him.
did he? Oh, is that actually
Yeah.
gone through? Is it? So that's basically off the table now, then, isn't
Yes,
it?
done.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realise that. I knew they were talking about re-signing him. I didn't realise it had gone though. So yeah, the Mike Maignan deal is gone. So it's got to be Penders, really, hasn't it? It's got to be Penders. I just
Unless
don't know.
Milan are doing it to sell him in the summer for more money because they can then warrant the extra money. But I
We
don't
wouldn't
think so.
buy him
Yeah.
for more money though. We wouldn't turn him down for what, like 12 mil or whatever they wanted for him, and then be like, I'll tell you what though, we'll pay 30 now. Like, that's just
Now he's got a longer
Yeah.
contract. It makes sense to pay the 30 million.
Oh, we love long contracts. Here's a load of money for him. So yeah, I do. You know, interesting that we kind of started and ended with goalkeepers. We've bookended the entire session with chat about goalkeepers. Guys, Jay, Kai, thank you so much for joining me. I've absolutely loved this, man. I would love to keep going on, but I need to stand up because my legs are going dead. So, guys, for those of you that are left, obviously, if you are here, you are subscribed to my channel already. Thank you very much for that. But I also have here with me Kai from Behind the Dugouts and Jay from Talking Chelsea. Check their channels out. Kai's on the race to 500 subs. Jay is on the race to 15,000 before the end of the season. So any love that can be given to any of my beautiful panelists would be much, much appreciated. Guys, any last parting words for our fans before we call it a night?
Support the Blues. Let's go get this win tomorrow. Start off
Yeah.
on a good run. Just that's all I'm focusing on, and
Yeah.
hopefully all the fans the same. You know, get your voices heard.
Yeah.
Push the team. Let's get these 3 points, man.
Nice.
Joe, I echo that 100%. Up the Chelsea. Let's just get points on the board, get behind the team, get behind the players, get some points on the board, get some good performances in. Let's just have a great day out. Do you know what I mean? That's what football's all about. Hopefully, we can just turn things around. We've got to be hopeful about it.
Viva la Penders ball.
I'm calling it Pender's ball now.
I love it. I love it. Penders ball, mate. I'm all about Penders ball. Nice one, guys. Thanks very much for sticking around until the end of the live. If you did, we will all catch up with you very, very soon. Take it easy. Peace.
Bye.